If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon's Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
11 runs for the Harbor Hawks and 10 runs for the Anglers. Well, if anything like that happens tonight, we're going to be in for one heck of a show here from McKeon Park. 2 offensive onslaughts and 2 different stories, 2 different results from each games last night. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside the McKeon Park broadcast booth alongside Jacob Irons, Mickey Doolittle. My name is Michael Kirsting. That is Michael with the Y. Now, boys, welcome along. We're here back home at McKeon Park. 2 completely different outcomes, but hey, the Harbor Hawks, their bats came alive last night.
Yeah, 11 hits, 11 runs, like you mentioned earlier. It was a great offensive showing from Hyannis last night in Wareham. And it was Brad Keylori who was the star of the show. He had an RBI single in the 3rd and then ultimately blew the game wide open with a bases loaded 3-run triple in the top of the 8th inning. So Hyannis got some breakout performances last night, and they'll look to continue that role here today.
Yeah, it takes 2 sides of the ball for breakout performances as well. Pitching had one as well, didn't it, Jacob Irons?
Really, when you talk about it, it's Jamie Arnold who really, from Florida State, came out and produced. When you talk about it, Goes 6 for 6 for strikeouts, but you got to go back a couple more innings when you get that one fielder's choice comes in that high leverage situation, does a great job in that relief setting and able to sit him down. Then 6 consecutive with Ks. Got to highlight them. Those are huge leverage situations, and when you talk about it, it's a conversation to be had whether he's going to be in those high leverage situations. We had it on the broadcast last night, Michael, about whether that would be his role for the upcoming season. And through all indications, it looks like after that showing, he is comfortable in that position. He wants to be in that position, and might as well be in that position if you are in that spot consistently and confidently.
Yeah, and going back to the front end of the pitching, Ty Good lived up to that last name of his. Even though 3 runs were allowed, none of them were earned. Pitched pretty good last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. And when you look at all of this together, it is complete pitching dominance. Even if you go back to opening day, that's when really pitching shined through. You talk about Mitch Ferris at that current moment. He looked good. Then you go to Lanthier, really strong as well. Pitching right now for the Harbor Hawks is really one of their huge key features.
And back to the hitting, I mean, a few managerial switches from Coach Eric Beatty, moving Andrew Sundin to the cleanup spot. He came through in a big moment, too.
Yeah, and you're going to see a little more of a reshuffled lineup like we'll break down in a couple of minutes here. A little bit of changes in the lineup. Some guys aren't seeing the ball as well. Some guys are seeing the ball really well. So they're just adjusting to those hot guys and seeing who's moving those guys, getting those guys who are hitting a lot better, more at-bats.
We now know that through the starting lineup, some of those guys we saw last night out of the back end of the bullpen won't be available because of that pitching and rest on short notice as well. So the guys who are available in the back end of the bullpen, Jacob, what are you going to be looking from them today to see?
I think you go attack batters, like we talked about. I think you play confidently and you play really at the current moment of going in attack. You saw it at the plate yesterday with a couple of our batters, and they did a really good job of going to attack. I think pitchers need to have the same movement there. However, I think Brielasic has more on our pitching staff.
So let's send it down to Brielasic, who talked with some of our baseball ops members.
From McKeon Park, I'm Bria Lossick alongside Gino from the Baseball Ops Department, and we're going to talk about that performance by Jamie Arnold last night. Just fantastic. 6 strikeouts, no runs allowed. Why was he so successful last night?
You know, the fastball was playing really well. He changed up his grip a couple days ago, and that was a really electric pitch at the bottom of the zone, and Warham's guys, they weren't catching up to it, and they had really good movement, and that was really good to see out of him.
You know, with his whiff percentage, you know, how much he threw that fastball last night, about 87%. Is that pretty typical for Arnold, or was that something new that you guys saw?
He's been more of a slider guy all year. He's been really a 50-50 kind of fastball slider, and his slider's been his money pitch. It was pretty good to see him, you know, being able to stick with that fastball and he threw 2 sliders all night. So for him to have success with his second best pitch, that was really encouraging to see.
Yeah, he came out of the bullpen in relief. Do you see him kind of staying in that role or maybe moving into more of a starting position?
He's going to be probably a hybrid guy for us. I would guess he starts a game or 2, but I think he's mostly going to be that, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy. Leverage, you know, coming in when we need him the most to get outs.
All right, thanks so much, Gino. And now we're going to talk to the man himself, Jamie Arnold. Alongside Jamie Arnold from FSU. Jamie, you had an outstanding outing last night. You know, 3 1/3 innings, no runs, 6 Ks. How are you feeling out there?
I felt good. I just wanted to throw strikes, move the fastball around, and I did a good job of it, so that's all I could ask for.
You did do a good job of it. You actually threw your fastball 87% of the time. That's not usual for you. Why did you feel so confident in that pitch?
It seemed like the hitters were having a tough time seeing it, so why switch it up? I just kept doing it, and it worked. So
your first outing, you know, just kind of feeling a little bit how it is out here. What are your goals going into this season on the Cape?
I just want to get better as a pitcher overall and go into next year feeling confident and playing against the best hitters, obviously, that are here. So, yeah, I want to get better at pitching overall. So,
is there a specific pitch you're working on, or just?
Definitely my changeup. That's I don't throw it that much, so I want it to be a pitch I can throw a lot and trust. So.
You're also playing up here with one of your teammates from FSU, Cam Smith. What's that like?
I love Cam, so it's always good to spend more time with him, be with him over summer. So it's nice, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You gotta come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Center field by John Fogerty, cranking here at McKeon Park. That means only one thing. It's time for baseball, folks. And the Chatham Anglers, they are the ones visiting. So, hey, Mickey Doolittle, let's hear that lineup, sir.
Yeah, so Chatham is a very lefty-heavy lineup. They're going to lead it off with Cameron Pittman playing center and number 43, and hitting first, Jared Spraglott playing short and hitting second, one of the few right-handed hitters in this starting lineup. The Kansas product, the designated hitter, Jansen Reeder, hits third, the left-handed hitter. Another lefty follows him. It's number 10, Kyson Donahue, playing second and hitting cleanup. Tate Ballestero is playing first and is a switch hitter. Caden Kent is playing left, the left-handed hitter. Robin Fernandez follows him. The third baseman hitting eighth, it's Mark Schallenberger, the right fielder, also a lefty. And Logan Chauvet is the catcher tonight and hitting at the bottom of the lineup, hitting ninth.
Well, thank you very much, Mickey Doolittle, for that lineup. That's going to be the lineup that faces Hyannis Harbor Hawks pitcher Jay Driver. We'll see him in just a moment once the lineup cards are passed around. You want to give us that defense?
Yeah, so it is going to be the same exact outfield alignment as the past two games deployed here from Hyannis. In left, it'll be Williamson. In center, it'll be Lipsy and Casella playing out in right. And then the left side of the infield goes Smith and Snow. Snow, of course, the fantastic shortstop, conference defensive player of the year. The right side of the infield features Laurie and Lane. And behind the dish, once again, for the first time since opening day, it's Brody Dene for Hyannis, the big 6'5" catcher that is very good defensively, but also has a ton of pop in his bat. But we'll talk about more of him with the pop in his bat when we get back to the bottom of the first.
Absolutely. It's Jay Driver's first start on the year. Well, Mick, while we're on the topic of Jay Driver, we were talking about Ty Good, his start last night. He looked pretty decent, and even though he gave up those 3 runs, none of them were earned. And it was a good showing from him despite those runs. And Jacob Irons now, talking about Ty Good, you saw what you wanted to see out of him.
Yeah.
And if you want to be seeing this, you want to be seeing the same thing tonight. What are you going to be looking for out of Jay Driver as they take the field?
I think as they take the field, you really want to talk about 5, you want to use your fastball effectively. 2, you want to be ahead in counts. And then 3, you want to be confident. I think there's nothing that we can take away more than to be confident in your stance. And mine as well, when you're here, this is your second summer. There's a level of experience here. And I think Bria Losick, our silent reporter, will touch on it later in this show. But he left here after the defeating loss against Bourne saying, I got to come back here. My job is not done. This is going to happen. And I want to come back here. And I think that when you have a pitcher that wants to be in here, that wants to play for this team, that wants to play for Skip Eric Beatty, everything is on your side. And when you got a side armor out there going up against a Chatham lineup that is pretty potent, nonetheless, as we saw 10 runs yesterday, this is going to be a high potent offensive game. But if your starter can go, that's going to be a key.
It also goes to show the competitiveness out here on the Cape. What other summer league is trying to win as much as the Cape? I challenge you to find one, and I guarantee you will not find one.
And to quote that, Tom Holliday said that himself in the preview article where he said, before I got here, the Cape wasn't necessarily about winning. It is now shifted into that. But that's what you love to see, is that both managers in both dugouts tonight are going to win. You get that first win under your belt, for Hyannis. For Chatham, they're still looking for their first win. They only tied yesterday because of that 10-run inning. And ultimately, you're still looking for that first win of the year.
Yeah, they were leading 7-0 at a point, and a 7-run 6th inning is what caused them to squander it. The game ended at 10 apiece. A new rule this year, there is an extra 10th inning as opposed to just staying with the normal 9. They will go to an extra 10th, starting with a ghost runner on second. If neither team can score after that, well, that's a tie ball game. Yeah, we do have ties out here on the Cape.
And with Chatham last night, that came into effect. You start the 10th inning with the runner on second, the ghost runner as the MLB calls it, or the Manfred runner, and it was a 10-10
The Manfred runner
tie last night that ended with Chatham and Brewster ending in a tie in a highly offensive showing. Chatham at one point led that game 7-1 and then ultimately gave up 7 in the 6th. They went back and forth. There were 4 lead changes in the game before ultimately ending in a tie.
Yeah, pretty good game, and then pretty good game over there in Wareham last night that we were on the coverage for. But it's a new day here today as Cameron Pittman digs the chalk. He is ready in the lefty batter box. Jay Driver toes the slab, and he is ready on the mound. It's the Anglers, it's the Hawks, and it is live from McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. First pitch is outside ball. We are underway.
Yeah, beautiful day. A little overcast here, coming in at 70.
1-0 outside to Pittman from Radford. Had an injury-plagued year this year. He missed all of March, but got back healthy in early April and got back for the rest. He missed early April and got back healthy for the rest of the season. Here's the 2-0. Fouled back. Count 2-1.
Jay Driver, a guy that only needs 2 pitches to be effective. Has a fastball and a slider that he mixes in. The big right-handed pitcher kind of comes from a lower 3/4 release, and you'll see those pitches heavily featured today.
The 2-1 is a line drive out to left. Ben Williamson settles under and puts away out number 1.
And when you talk about Ben Williamson, not a traditional outfielder, but has come in due to the lack of depth the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have on the bench, and has come in and necessarily taken the role like it could be his main position. We've seen diving plays out there. We've seen just classic fundamental plays, and that's why some people may just take that for granted, but you have to really appreciate that play.
Williamson got hit on the elbow by a pitch last night, and because of the lack of position players, he is going to have to stay in the game. He is fine, too. He also swung in batting practice, but he got clipped on the elbow, and he was in visible pain as he was walking down to first yesterday. But back out there again. You could tell he didn't want to leave the field. Outside.
Yeah, and that's the grit these players have on the Cape. You talk about these high-level athletes. They never want to leave the field. No one wants to give up anything.
And Ben Williamson, the least so. Here's the 1-0. He went around. No appeal necessary. Count evens at 1.
It's actually going to be 1 and 2 here
1 and 2,
because he went slider, fastball, slider, and he can pretty much throw either one he wants right now. He will mix in a changeup, but not too often. He only threw 16 of them during the college baseball season.
1-2 low and outside. Good catch, Mick.
Went back to the slider there.
You see guys normally today in the league, maybe more 4 or 5 pitch mixes. You don't see the Yu Darvishes with 7 or 8, but to see a guy with only 2 pitches, he's got to be really, really effective with both. As here comes the 2-2. It's a line drive out to right. Justin Casella settles under it and makes the play for out number 2.
Nicely located fastball in the outer third of the plate. We'll say Spraglot did a good job of keeping his bat back, but he just got under that one and flew it right out to Casella.
So 2 away. Here is Jansen Reeder, the Kansas Jayhawk. So good start so far from Jay Driver. First pitch is a soft fly ball out into left. Snow out and puts it away. And down go the Anglers 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Anglers nothing, and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks coming to bat here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative Tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
We welcome you back to McKeon Park as Hyannis steps up in the bottom of the first. Jay Driver did a nice job setting him down 1-2-3. The Anglers went. And Jacob Irons, hey, give us that Hyannis lineup,
Yeah,
please.
let's take a look at that Hyannis Harbor Hawks lineup. In one will be Brad Keylori, the second baseman. Then in two will be Trey Lipsy in center field today. Alex Lane, the first baseman, batting in three. In the cleanup spot will be Andrew Sundin after that big double yesterday. Ben Williamson assumes his role in the five-hole. Cam Smith, Eric Snow, Brody Donane. And rounding out the lineup will be Justin Casella, the right fielder today from Elon. Really a strong showing. And once again, this is a lineup, like we said, only 3 games in. You're going to have to tool with it a little bit to really fine-tune it to be what you want.
Absolutely. That's the lineup that's going to be facing the right-hander, Trey Gibson. We see him warming up. Mickey Doolittle, tell us.
Yeah, Trey Gibson, the senior out of Liberty University. He was hurt a lot of 2023. A lot of the numbers that he has come from 2022, but he has a fastball, curveball, changeup, slider mix. He won't use the slider very often, so it's really just a 3-pitch mix, but those other pitches are very, very effective. The changeup is mostly going to be used against left-handed hitters with that arm side run a little bit, so it's going to be a tough task for Hyannis to get to him. It's a lot of raw talent here coming from Gibson, making his first appearance of the summer.
And Brad Keylori, the leadoff hitter, steps up 3 for 5 last night and 4 RBI, including that triple back in the 8th inning to really break the game open and seal all but perfect insurance runs for the Harbor Hawks. He digs in. It's been a while for Trey Gibson since he's pitched, so it must feel really good for him to get back out there today. First pitch inside, 1-0.
It's hard to say that, too many memories are too memorable this early in the season, but that triple felt like a play that we're going to remember for a long time here in Hyannis.
You could say the same about Sundin's double as well. That broke up. That was a big part of a 4-run fourth as well last night.
And when you talk about a very chillaxed interview, Brad Keylori might be the best interview we've had so far from a player. And the best part about it, about how the bases clearing triple was, he said, I was just lucky enough to have them on base in that situation, which is a great answer nonetheless.
Yeah, you love guys who really thank their teammates, and they're a teammate kind of guy, team first kind of guy. And Brad Keylori, being a leadoff guy, that's what you have to be. Get on for your guys. Here's the 2-1. Inside the count, 3-1. Laurie mentioning that it was 5 of those 11 runs were scored by the bottom third of the order last night. So really nice work from the bottom 3. Cam Smith himself included in there, getting himself on, scoring a run. Here is the 3-1. Hitters count for Laurie, and he draws a walk to lead things off in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, so right away, Gibson missing with the fastball inside. His fastball has some decent running in on the right-handed hitter. So, that might be something to watch if, maybe that run isn't helping him out. It's running out of the zone just a little bit, leaking inside. But something to watch here as the leadoff walk is issued to Laurie.
And up steps Trey Lipsy. Scored 2 runs last night, walked and got hit by a pitch. And there goes Laurie on the first pitch. Throw down to second, not in time. Laurie swipes second. We see the small ball coming again. Runner in scoring position for Lipsy to work with now.
Yeah, that was a big curveball there, so a very good pitch to steal on by Laurie. He picked a good one. It took a while to get to the plate. He got a good jump and slid in safely.
Pitch was called the ball. So now runner on second, 1-0 the count on the Ohio State Buckeye. Way outside, 2-0.
And that's what we're seeing where they picked up yesterday. They were aggressive on the base pass yesterday, and that proved to be really beneficial when we talk about all of their runs that were able to be scored were because of manufacturing them. And that's Lori right there. Manufacturing, getting over, and making yourself in scoring position.
Third base is close in case Lipsy pushes a bunt down the line. 3-0 now.
Yeah, he's missing with that fastball towards his arm side into the right-handed batter's box. Let's see if he can make an adjustment.
No stranger to summer ball is Lipsy. Played for the Kalamazoo Growlers in the Northwoods League in Minnesota last year. Batted .340 for them. It'll be a 3-0 to Lipsy. There's a strike. Paints the corner. Count 3-1. While with the Growlers in the Northwoods League, he also stole 16 bases, so that plays in to the Harbor Hawks philosophy perfectly. Hitters count here for Lipsy. It'll be a 3-1. Laurie leads off second. Wave and a tap foul must have hit either the catcher or Lipsy himself, and the count runs full. Nice work by Gibson to work himself back into this count.
That's what you need to do. Once again, like we talk about, you allow a runner to get on yourself. Got to let the mindset go. You got to focus on the batter in front of you who is standing right there in that box.
It'll be a full count to Lipsy with Laurie on second base. Here's the payoff. There goes Laurie. Throw down. There is no throw down. And now there are runners on the corners with nobody out. Hawks in business here in the bottom of the first for Alex Lane.
Yeah, another curveball outside. Laurie, again, getting a fantastic jump off of that. The curveball, always a great pitch to steal on. Takes a long, long time, especially with the big movement Gibson has. It's big north to south. It takes a while. He takes a lot off of it. And Laurie easily able to steal first and second off of that curveball. And now runners at the corners.
Runners at the corners for big Alex Lane. He sat in the third spot last night. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. So you've seen the Hawks be active on the base paths already, as we've seen Laurie stole two. Thinking we could maybe put Lipsy in motion just to play with a bit of trickery, see what Laurie can do. Maybe, depending on where the throw goes, send Laurie home.
Yeah, maybe hit him with the Cupid shuffle out there. Get him dancing over there.
And there he goes, as if on cue, no throw anywhere. So Lipsy steals second. Good call from Jacob Irons as Lipsy dances his way down to second.
Hawks are moving right now,
yeah.
guys.
And whatever's in the scouting report, and it was something that we saw yesterday, Brewster took advantage of it as well against this Chatham battery of they're going to move.
Chop foul at the plate.
And it's something that Brewster took advantage of. It allowed them to come back in that game yesterday as well. So Hyannis taking from that and using it themselves.
Northeastern Husky stands in a big spot early in the game. Runners on second and third. It'll be a 1-2 count to Lane. Big curveball, and it hit him. And now the bases are loaded and nobody out. And up steps Andrew Sundin. And man, so we've been through, this is now the third game. This is already the third time Andrew Sundin has been up with the bases loaded this season.
In addition to that, the Harbor Hawks lead the Cape Cod Baseball League in hit by pitches so far this year. I know it's only been 2 games, but Sundin did a great job. He has that elbow protector on his left arm. Kind of lean down into that maybe a little bit, trying to cover that inside edge of the plate. Got a little bit of a call there, but now they're loaded with nobody out, and we got a conference at the mound.
Yeah, Tom Holliday doing it himself. And like we talked about, we saw it yesterday. Those mound conferences, you have to hold on to them really tightly as well. So to have him be forced to use one here this early is really detrimental to the rest of his outing.
So Sundin stands in. He stood in the cleanup spot last night. He smacked a double as part of a 3-run fourth inning. 4-run fourth inning, beg your pardon.
1 for 3 night on it for him, and 4 RBIs as he hit a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning. Part of a great night for the Central Florida product.
Steps up in a big spot here. Bases loaded, nobody outs. Inside 1-0. Sundin doing the designated hitter role today. Brodone switching off between DH and catcher for now. Bases full of Hawks here in the bottom of the first against Trey Gibson. He sees the fastball sit in for strike one. Count even at 1 now.
Now this is an opportunity for Hyannis that you have to take advantage. No matter what, you have bases loaded here, nobody out. Anyway, you have to get a run in. This is too good of an opportunity to not manufacture it.
1-1, a huge swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. We saw it yesterday that the approach was better from the lineup all around. They were taking better pitches, they were seeing better pitches, and they were hitting better pitches too. It'll now be a 1-2 to Sundin. Gibson winds and deals. Did he get a piece of it? Just about, and stays alive.
That's impressive. That was a couple inches off the plate. Able to get the bat head out there and just get a piece of that one to stay alive. That's a long reach, but Sundin's a big guy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's got the height for him.
Swings a big bat.
Yeah, needed all 6'5" of it. Here's the 1-2 again with the fastball. Grounded and chopped just above first, but it's called foul, and Bradkey Laurie's got his head on his hands. It looked really close from our vantage point behind home plate. It bounced right on the line once or twice, and it must have kicked foul at the last second. Very, very close, but Sundin gets another chance.
Yeah, it looked like it skipped right over the bag. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
So 1-2 again. Sundin protects well. He's fouled off 2. Gibson deals, wave, and a tip again. By the skin of his teeth, he has stayed alive. 3 pitches in a row now, and we'll do it again.
Mickey, we talk about it. That reach there, it is coming into effect here. When you stand as tall as Sundin is, you're able to reach out across the plate. Maybe a little harder for a guy my size to get over there and protect as well.
Here's the 1-2. It's ripped into left field for a base hit. Laurie scores. Here comes Lipsy. The throw to the plate is cut off. It's a 2-run single for Andrew Sundin, and the Hawks are off and running here in the bottom of the first.
When we talk about clutch hitting, it is going to start to be associated with Andrew Sundin. Clutch hit last night, and then to come back and keep the momentum high, bring it in here tonight. Great piece of hitting. Sundin lets it go with him once again. You're not trying to pull the pitch. He allows the pitch to come to him and takes it with him over to left field. Kent can only have to run in on it. It's beautiful placement in that shallow left field.
Hit them where they ain't.
And still nobody out now as well for Ben Williamson. CAA Player of the Year stands in. Count 1-0. Hit nearly 400. He was well above 400 for a lot of the year. You see his numbers there. Finished just below that mark.
You know, Ben Williamson ended up facing Ty Good, last night's starter for Hyannis at one point this year. 1 for 1 day and a walk.
1-0, slapped foul.
That one hit was a single for him. You got to imagine that might be a little bit of bragging rights down in the dugout.
That's the beauty of summer ball here, Mickey, when you bring all these players together from all around, and like we talked about a little bit with Aiden Blanc, the broadcasters from Wareham yesterday, Hyannis might have a little CAA connection to them with all these players from that conference, but it's nice to get them together here. Maybe have that friend that you can go talk to when you play them in the regular season.
It'll be a 1-1 to Williamson. Gibson sets and deals low, and good block by Sauve behind the plate.
Yeah, fundamental block right there. Nicely done, getting the glove down, flipping it over, and getting your chest right in front of that ball as it skips in. That was a tricky one. It was a fastball low and in the dirt. And he did a good job keeping it in front of him.
Here's the 2-1. It's ripped and over the head of Sprague Lott and into left center. Here comes Lane chugging around third. The throw is cut off by the shortstop, and it's an RBI single for Ben Williamson. 3-0 to the Hawks here in the bottom of the first.
Who says Alex Lane can't run? The man last night scores from first on that bases clearing triple from Laurie. Tonight, in a tough play, he's got to go. Eric Beatty has no shy. He did not even hesitate once. He had him going the entire way and shows why right there with Alex Lane.
I was about to say, I feel like I had a little bit of deja vu there. It looked like we just saw that last night.
First pitch to Cam Smith clips the outside corner for strike one.
See, that is a perfect curveball. On the outer third of the plate, if Smith swings at that and gets ahead of it, that's just a rollover bouncer. There's no way he can hit that hard.
0-1 to the Florida State Seminole, taken low. Smith moved up from the 8th spot last night, as he was part of that extremely productive bottom of the order. Not too many hits, but they're finding their ways on. Walking, hit by pitch, got on through a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-1. It's chopped to third. There's one as he steps on the bag. Throw across the diamond, and he got him. That's a big, big play there. It will go 5-3. The grounder from Cam Smith went. Good play by Fernandez, and just like that, very quickly there are two away. Only a runner on second now for Eric Snow.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointing result there for Smith, as he probably wanted to keep the line moving, but still a little bit of life. A runner in scoring position. 3 runs in already.
So 1-0 coming to Snow. Gibson sets and fires. Low.
7th hitter of the inning for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, they've kept the chain moving very, very well so far.
They brought 10 hitters up to the plate in that long top of the 8th last night.
The 2-0 to Snow. Inside, and another 3-ball count.
Donay to follow. Donay, we mentioned in that first game, he was struggling just a little bit. Last night he didn't have a hit, but it looked like his approach was a little bit better. We'll see if Harbor Hawks can get to him.
It'll be a 3-0. Catches the outside corner with Williamson dancing off second.
Still no motion here in the bullpen for the Anglers. A little bit of stretching from a couple of guys, but nobody that you can really harp down on as that's the guy you want to warm up. But you have to imagine here that Tom Holliday might want to make a change here or just after this inning.
Count runs full on Snow. That will send Williamson off with the pitch. It was a big 5-3 double play induced by Gibson to get the 2 outs. Here is the payoff, and it's chopped foul. Williamson did not go on the pitch.
We mentioned it that Hyannis was kind of running all over Gibson earlier in the inning, and it looks like his slide step out of the stretch is a little bit slower. The straight leg kick straight up.
As the payoff is outside, and that will send up Brody Donay to the plate. 8th hitter of the inning for the Harbor Hawks.
It just takes him a little bit longer to get to the plate, allowing Harbor Hawks to have a little bit more time to get to second base or any base they're trying to steal.
Whether it be a walk or hit by pitch, that's 4 Harbor Hawks that have now reached this inning not on a hit. The singles from Sundin and Williamson are the only 2. As the first pitch to Donay is chopped to short over his Sprague lot and puts away Donay to end the inning. But a strong start as the Hawks send 8 to the plate and score 3. At the end of 1, 3-0 Hyannis here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You gotta come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own. You turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
How can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Jay Driver starts. Now, here's an interesting little bit for you guys. That inning took a little bit. They've got a 3-run advantage to give Jay Driver, have the Harbor Hawks, but Driver's now cold. He's out of that first inning, but he hasn't pitched in a little bit. So we'll see how he comes out of this bit of a longer inning after being cold for a little.
Yeah, game started at 6:02. You figure that first inning, it was a quick one from Driver, a 1-2-3 inning that featured 2 flyouts and a pop out on the infield. But the plane is flying overhead. But Driver, that was a quick first inning. Game started at 6:02. You figure he was out of the inning at least maybe 6:05, 6:06.
Yeah.
And now we're at 6:26. He hasn't thrown in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a real thing. You get a little bit cold, and yeah, you rust over a little bit, and it takes you a few pitches to find your command again. And now it's time for him to lock back in. He looked really good in that first, so he's going to look to try and channel that energy again. It'll be Donahue, Ballestero, and Kent, 4, 5, 6 in the Anglers' order.
Still got that little smoky haze from the Canadian wildfires in the area. It still hasn't necessarily gone out yet here on the East Coast.
Kyson Donahue, the second baseman, grounds it to short. Snow fields and fires low. Nice pick by Lane to put it away for the first out.
About as good as you can do it. 1 pitch, 1 out there from Jay Driver as he looks to replicate that success that he had in the first inning right here against 4, 5, and 6 for Chatham.
Up steps the first baseman, Tate Ballestero. First pitch from Driver is low. Ballestero, the first baseman for the St. John's Red Storm. The 1-0 in there for strike 1.
Is the air quality in New York getting any better? I haven't really read up on it recently.
In New York?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I think so.
Because I saw the pictures of New York City looking
Oh
like
my gosh, that was the other day.
Blade Runner 20, what was it, 2049, yeah.
Oh yeah, well that was like last week. Oh yeah, it's nice and back there.
That's good.
It's nice and back, yep. 288 went Ballestero for the Johnnies this season to the tune of a 926 OPS as well. The 1-2. Well, outside 2-2. Donay stood up as if to throw down to third, and Ballestero turned back to the dugout. They all thought it was strike 3, but he stands back in, and he will receive the 2-2 with another life to his name. It's outside, and the count runs full.
Man, that 1-2 pitch was absolute paint. That was about as good as you could possibly throw that, and in a perfect location right on the black, but didn't get the call.
Here's the payoff. That one strike 3 as Ballestero goes down looking.
There's the slider right there. Perfect slider. And I think Ballestero might have been looking fastball there as he knew it right away. It was right down the middle. And the second out of the inning here for Driver.
Looked just about as sure as he did on the 1-2 that it was strike 3. And up steps Caden Kent, the left fielder. Outside 1-0 to the Texas A&M Aggie. Not an everyday starter. They had a very set starting 9, as many schools down there in the SEC and the Big 12 do. Here's the 1-0 inside.
And that's something Tom Holliday mentioned previously in this early parts of the season of how he wanted to get his guy as many at-bats as possible, saying that he was going to be a traditional guy in that starting 9 for the summer to really develop him to get him back to the Aggies.
3-0 now on Caden Ken. For our resident Giants fans, including Mickey Doolittle to my right, yes, he is in fact the son of 2000 NL MVP Jeff Kent. Here is the 3-0. He was dead red light, and he took it for ball 4, 4-pitch walk. It's the first base runner allowed. And that brings up Robin Fernandez.
And that's something, another storyline, Tom Holliday. I'm just quoting Tom Holliday today because I read a lot, because he speaks a great ton and is always very open to the media about how he built his team to have that pro player-esque itemized list to it, And what better way to make it pro style than get the sons of pros to come in and fill your dugout?
This is also a place where you kind of build yourself, too. You perform well here with a wood bat on the Cape. Yeah, you're going to be slotting right back in to that Texas A&M lineup.
Exactly.
Robin Fernandez took the off-speed junk in there for strike one.
I appreciate the Giants reference
Of
there.
course. Of course, I'm here to serve. Here's the 0-1. Tipped at the plate, and driver quickly ahead 0-2.
I'll try and sneak you in a Yankees reference
Listen,
here sometime.
it's a give and take.
Well, no, he's got to because there's two of us.
Well, what are you?
I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, you are a Yankee fan.
I am
There
a
we
Yankee
go.
fan.
There we
That
go.
doesn't mean
so
you
yeah,
get two.
No,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
It
yes,
means
it does.
if we got one in, you at least have to go quid pro quo.
100%.
I got a lot of work to do tonight.
Yes, sir.
Just one.
Here's the 0-2. It's outside. Donay looked to maybe have he popped up quick as he wanted to see if he could catch Kent leaning. He couldn't throw it across.
That was way outside.
Yeah.
Lost his his release point just a little bit there, but that'll happen from time to time with those off-speed pitches. Just spun a slider a little too outside.
The 1-2 wrapped foul. And we'll do it again. Top of the second action here at McKeon Park. We welcome you in to Hyannis Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. 3-0 to the Hawks already. It was a big first inning from them, sending 8 batters to the plate. Only 2 hits, but both of them were scoring runs as the Hawks find ways to manufacture runs, not just by hits, but getting on base however they can. Jay Driver has looked strong so far, and he continues that strong start as he sets down Fernandez and strands Kent at first. No runs and no hits. No errors and 1 man left. We're through 1.5 here at McKeon Park. It is 3-0 to the Hawks as you're watching Harbor Hawks baseball on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama. It'll be Justin Casella to start off the bottom of the second for the Harbor Hawks. And then back to the top. That's a really good start from the Harbor Hawks. Sending 8 guys to the plate. Justin Casella again leads us off. And then it'll be Laurie and Lipsy again. So this is we saw it last night from the bottom of the order manufacturing themselves on base, but now we're seeing it from the top as well as the first 3 guys reached on either a walk or hit by pitch to have themselves with the bases loaded with nobody out. Time for the bottom of the order to do the same.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about yesterday was that bottom third of the lineup that did a really good job of being smart and manufactured runs. And I really like how they found themselves in high leverage situations and they worked out of it. You talk about that big 5th and 4th inning, that's 2 outs. A large majority of those runs all coming with 2 outs.
Up steps Justin Casella. Takes the first pitch right down Broadway for strike 1.
Looks like there's a little action in the bullpen, and you picked up binoculars. Get a number on that yet?
Yeah, 45, Tommy Molsky. The Penn State, I believe he's a right-handed pitcher, a junior. There's a 1-1 count here.
Here is the 1-1 to Casella, way upstairs, 2-1.
So now this is the question for the table. You're going to have a short leash here?
I think so. It's early in the season.
Yeah.
You got a guy that's
As it's fly ball to right field, settling under is Pittman to put away out number 1.
You know, it's early in the season. You don't want to run your top guys too heavily.
Yeah.
Run out of bullets too soon in the season, especially recovering from a college season, recovering from some injuries. So,
yeah,
you know, I could see it either way, though.
Yeah.
It's a good start, though, to be retiring the first batter in Casella, but it does turn back over to Brad Keylori at the top of the order. Takes the first pitch inside. Laurie, the leadoff hitter in all 3 games thus far. Just finished up his freshman year, too. As it's a shot down the right field line. Over goes Schallenberger, and it kicks foul.
And that's the little quirky dimensions here of McKeon Park. You have a deep right field foul line over there that extends out a little bit, has a slant to it, but it's pretty deep over there for the most part. So you have to get over there, and if you can track it, you're able to get there in time to make the play.
It's not a lot of parks that you see 358 down the line directly. That's a you got to get you got to get something behind it.
It does look a little shorter than 358, but hey, maybe just plays short as the 1-1 taken inside.
Still looking for the first home run here at McKeon Park, though.
We need to use a rangefinder.
We got Grant, one of our producers. He has been telling us he will pull it out there for us if we want it. And for big golf, when we go golfing here on the Cape, he's got us set for yardage.
It's giant golf.
Perfect.
Giant golf.
Mini golf, of course, being what's commonly referred to as mini golf, is actually golf in our vocabulary. And giant golf is just what's commonly referred to as normal golf.
2-2 swung on and missed, and at first Salvi couldn't find it, but does, picks it up and fires down for out number 2. So a nice strong start to the bottom of the second, putting the first 2 Harbor Hawks away for Gibson.
Exactly. When you talk about it, we said he would have to be on a short leash, but what's better way after a turbulent first to come in, lock down, and get your first 2 batters you face, getting 2 outs as well. But now still trying to work out of this and really have that confidence build after the outing.
So 2 away for Lipsy. He walked in his first at bat, as did Laurie. Inside the count, inside the pitch, and count 1-0.
Yeah, if you can find a way to be in that spot at the current moment, you want to be aggressive. However, you've seen enough to really hold and maybe play the Jeter style of hold until you get a strike.
Quickly in front, 2-0 now. Walked, stole a base, and scored in the bottom of the first. And he takes a 2-0 right down Broadway for strike 1.
Nice pitch, outer third. Nicely located there. Fastball at 88.
There'll be a 2-1 coming to Lipsy. Upstairs. Hitters count now for the second time in this game.
Yeah, once again, 3-1, but we've seen him battle back before. That's where you got to stay calm, cool, and collected.
As a 3-1 slapped foul, it took until Cam Smith, the 6th batter in the order, to get an out, and it was a double play. He got 2 outs on that play. But 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and 2 singles before that. So it'll be a full count pitch coming to Lipsy from Gibson. Here is the payoff. Wave and a miss, and after a really strong first inning from the Harbor Hawks, Gibson comes right back and sets him down in order. We're through 2 at McKeon Park. It's 3-0 Harbor Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Jay Driver back out for his third inning of work. He's looked really strong so far. Just a walk to Caden Kent last inning. That's the only batter he has not set down through his first two. A strong first inning, sending 8 batters to the plate from the Harbor Hawks, has given Driver some room to work with and put him in the driver's seat here at McKeon Park. Wherever you are watching us from across the Cape Coast and country, we thank you for joining us here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Jacob Irons, Mickey Doolittle, Michael Kirsting bringing you all the action. Harbor Hawks Baseball. 3-0 to the Hawks. Only 2 hits so far. We've talked about manufacturing the runs, getting themselves on base. They've done that well thus far. Now it's up to Driver to keep them in the driver's seat here this game. It's a first pitch to Mark Schallenberger outside. Donay can't handle the 1-0.
Driver's delivery is just so low. Like, he drives off that back foot so much.
Just outside.
That allows him to get a lot behind what he's throwing. Get a little extra velo in there.
3-0 low, and Driver not happy with himself to start, and looked like Donay was going to maybe chat with him, but just tells him to settle down and just lock back in after a leadoff walk to Schallenberger, and that brings up Logan Save.
Now in this spot, nobody out. And for Chatham, you want to get your bats hot. This is your opportunity. A batter on, no outs. You want to try and take those opportunities because 3 runs is flirting right there where you want to start and be active in the run contest throughout the game.
First pitch to Save was foul. First base side out of play. He's #1 catcher out of Pennsylvania, out of high school, also a member of the Boston Red Sox scout team. Now plays with West Virginia. 43 starts for him in his freshman year. Saw time in 52 games as well. Count is even at 1 on Savi. And a check back to first. Finished 3rd in the Big 12, did the Mountaineers. Only behind Oklahoma State and Texas. So really solid team, 40 wins in a very competitive conference. So he brings a little bit of competition and competitiveness to the Cape as well. As it's on the ground to short, this could be 2. Smith for 1. And on to first, barely late as they can't turn it. Looked like Laurie might have hesitated a little bit on the throw. It almost looked like he didn't catch second base. It almost looked like his feet were missing the base, so maybe he was trying to get his feet back on the bag. Well, nonetheless, they get the force and the 1 out. That turns the lineup card back over to the top for Cam Pittman.
Yeah, still a good play by Laurie. It was a pretty tough one.
Get the lead runner.
They got the lead runner. You got a lot behind that throw without a ton of momentum going that way, so good job by him to at least get 1.
First pitch inside, it gets behind Donay, and Savi will scoot over to second.
That is what you call a wild pitch, Jacob.
Going back to our discussion from last night, just about how you could rule a wild pitch or a pass ball.
And I mean that in the most condescending way humanly possible.
Tough.
On the ground to second. This will scoot the runner over to third as Laurie puts away out #2.
Pittman was moving down the line there, and looked like Laurie took a little bit of time, took a couple of beats to himself to try and collect himself for that throw, but still got it over in time.
Yeah. Once again, and especially in that second base where you feel like you have that there, you have that time. But then when you see a runner going, you almost want to rush up, and then when you start to rush, you might make that error. But does a great job, keeps it calm, has made the play 1,000 times, he gets it over there.
Yeah.
Jared Sprague-Lott takes the first pitch low.
I didn't mean it in a condescending way, Jim.
No, don't worry, buddy.
It was
don't
a very
worry.
fair comment.
Don't
you made.
worry. No, hey, we had our conversation.
Nice leaping play by Alex Lane at first to take away a sure RBI and keep the Anglers off the board. No runs, no hits, no errors, and only one man left at third. We're through two and we're through 2.5, beg your pardon, here at McKeon Park. It's early in the season, folks. 3-0 Hawks. And let's send it down to the fourth member of our media team, Bria Lassick.
But he's pretty familiar with McKeon Park. Last time he was here, he was walking out to the parking lot following the Hyannis Harbor Hawks being eliminated from the 2022 playoffs. And he looked at me, said, "There is no way I am not coming back next summer. This was the best summer of my life." He said that Hyannis is just such a special place, and the memories and the connections that he made with all of the guys and the coaches, it just made it, impossible for him not to come back. And he's already making himself right at home here at McKeon. 2 scoreless innings. Back to you guys.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
3, 4, and 5 in the Hawks order. Lane, Sundin, and Williamson to start off the Hawks' home half of the third inning. Hawks have a 3-0 lead. 3 runs scored in the first. And that's all we've got so far. Off to a hot start early. And yeah, you can sit back a little bit until you don't have to again. First pitch from Trey Gibson dunks in for strike 1.
Lane making that great skyward play when you stand there so tall at 6'5" as he does, able to go up there and grab it and get there in time and do a great job as our crowd mic got hit with the baseball back there. Pardon,
it did.
Pardon your ears over there.
Wow.
Suffers no casualty, though. It's a strong mic, stays where it's at.
I was wondering what that was.
Yep, crowd mic. We make sure that you're able to hear the entire game here.
0-2 fouled off.
See, you hear that glove.
Do you think that'll happen
again
the rest of the year?
Oh.
Could.
What are we setting the over-under to with direct shots to the crowd mic at?
Oh, another 0.5 is all. A calm another 0.5.
Well, that already hit the over.
No, after this this one, I mean.
Oh, okay, one more.
Yes.
Makes sense.
I give us one more.
Yeah.
I think one more.
I'll hammer the over if that's where we're setting the line.
Yep. It'll be a 1-2 to Lane. He saw his numbers at Northeastern right there. Also transferred from the Bryant Bulldogs. Putting up impressive numbers in both places as he gets clipped again. And this time he felt it. Second time in as many at-bats where he's gotten plate appearances. Sorry, guys. Sorry for you two. It is now plate appearances where he's gotten hit by pitches.
Thank you.
Yep.
See, we might have the disagreement on pass balls and wild pitches. I will take plate appearances versus at-bats. You got to be generous.
You'll take which side?
I say that you have to be very – I don't think there's a side to it, but, like, that's a plate appearance, not an at-bat, because you're not swinging. But I feel like some people argue
That's
like,
what it is.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah. Either way.
And up steps Sundin now. He's got the leadoff runner on. Yeah, Lane felt that, and he let out a grunt of pain, but he's good now.
Hyannis has been pretty pelted as of late. Lipsy took a hit by pitch last night. Williamson did one as well. Trying to find some more because I know there were more. Snow got hit back on Saturday. Again, the Harbor Hawks leading the league in hit batsmen.
Swinging a foul tip, count 1-1. But you know if you're going to be getting a few extra points with manager Eric Beatty if you're wearing those, getting yourselves on base, however, in whatever way you can.
At what cost?
Yeah, well, if the cost is winning, I feel like anybody will put their body on the line for it.
Hey, there's the old dugout tagline, "We got ice."
There you go.
Be able to ice that thing up when you get back in there.
There you go. It'll be a 2-1 to Sundin. His 2-run single got the scoring started back in the first. He rips one foul down the line, and the count evens at 2. Got a good piece of it, did Sundin.
Yeah, great strong piece of hitting there. Does a good job with it to once again fight and try and pull it into fair territory.
We mentioned the crowd mic, picking that up. That was a loud hit off the bat. You could hear all of that.
Count even at 2 on Sundin. Gibson deals, wave and a miss as Sundin goes down swinging.
Nice curveball there, change speeds on him. And there's that great curveball from Trey Gibson that we know about. Off-speed pitch gets hitters out in front, and Sundin wasn't able to sit back on it.
Up steps Williamson. We talked about his numbers early on. Hitting right close to 400. That's a national mark for William and Mary. Or the William and Mary third baseman and shortstop. And he comes out here to the Cape. Yeah, and stick yourself in left field. Make 2 nice diving plays to go with it.
William and Mary mascot.
Tribe.
Yeah.
Don't even.
Ooh, all right.
I could have gotten that one, yeah.
However, there's some history to that mascot as well.
Oh, one chop foul. What Jacob Irons is about to say, that I couldn't tell you. So let's hear it from you, sir.
So they once were a Native American mascot, but once again, due to the push, they changed it a while ago, but now once again in the conversations because of the tribe to make that change again. So a little bit of controversy with the tribe as well coming down the stretch.
Here's the 0-2 to Williamson. Tapped it just foul.
Wow, that pitch was at his ankles, and he had a little check swing and just got a piece of it. Wow, that was a strange play.
Yeah, we've got a few guys, Hyannis mainly for Chatham, though, that I didn't recognize the mascots. I don't know as much as Jacob Irons, but you kind of...
Hey, if you see one in there, throw it my way, Michael.
Trust me, I will. Williamson stayed alive on the 0-2. Here's the next offering. And he slaps it into right field for a base hit. Wonderful piece of hitting from Ben Williamson to stay on it. And they were first and second, 1 man out for Cam Smith.
Bat control was the key right there. He kept his hands in, and he just slapped that one the opposite way. Perfect piece of hitting. He kept his hands in front of the barrel. It was a fastball away and did exactly what he wanted to do, is stay within himself. He's not going to hit that one 400 feet, and he knew it, but that was a perfect way to hit that pitch.
And because you had to run around, you had Donahue shading more toward second base, so you have no one there like you have right now on that center field camera look of there is no one there in that cap between Ballestero and Donahue.
Williamson, one of the best pure hitters on this team. And that reflects in his batting average this year, like Michael mentioned earlier.
So 1-0 to Cam Smith. Yeah, keeping a guy like Williamson off base. He was the other number I mentioned. He was over 500 in on-base percentage. So calculate that for all you non-baseball fans, is that he's on base over half the time. So keeping a guy like him off base is really, really tough. And when he can hit like that, it's just reflected in it. You could see it and just let the play do the talking. Pure power hitter at the plate here in Cam Smith. We saw him get a hold of quite a few in batting practice, and he might have just gotten a hold of one here. He sends one out to left center field and deep, and back goes Pittman. He sure did get a hold of it, but not quite enough as Cam Pittman makes the catch on the warning track, maybe a few steps in front of the wall, and puts away out number 2, but just barely.
Yeah, really teed it up there, had a good, clean piece of hitting. Just maybe if the wind, as it's pretty stagnant here, no movement in or out as we were able to look at the right center flag. If it was maybe pushing out, I think it would have had that little extra distance, because when we're talking about warning track, that was warning track all the way. He was feeling for the wall.
Now, Cam Smith has a metal bat in his hands that's going about 470, and that is the wonderful part of this league. It's a really great equalizer. We've mentioned, and we've used that term specifically, that this wood bat, it's an adjustment. Really, with a metal bat, that's gone at most college fields, and you have to get used to it. The sweet spot's smaller on a wooden bat than it is a metal bat, and that's just the reality of it. You can't be mad at that if you're Cam Smith, can you?
Yeah, and we mentioned it yesterday. The power numbers as the season goes on will increase because guys will eventually figure out where that smaller barrel of the bat is on these wooden bats versus the metal bats. They'll eventually figure that out and will eventually start barreling up more pitches. That's a league-wide thing. That's not just Hyannis or Chatham. That's everybody.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a grace period gone through every year, just those first few games. You see Cam Smith doing that a few weeks into the season. He'll find that sweet spot and send it all the way out. It's an 0-2 count on Eric Snow. The curveball hit on the ground to short. Sprague Lott will go the short way to put away out number 3. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 3, 3-0 Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile?
Yep. T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama. We welcome you back. Top of the 4th inning action. Yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah, the lights are coming on here at McKeon Park, and the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the Knack Cape Cod. The Knack offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit theknackcapecod.com to order online today. The Knack Cape Cod is proud to be the light up the park sponsor of the Harbor Hawks all season long.
Yeah, me and Mickey were able to drive by it yesterday, doing a little detour on our way to Wareham. We got to figure it out. Beautiful restaurant from the outside. We maybe have to go over there sometime.
No, I know. It
maybe.
It had like the moat of rocks around the outside of it. It looked really cool.
Very cool.
I walked past it the other day on my way to my haircut. That wasn't that funny. I don't know.
Just wasn't expecting you to say that. And you just cut it off? I don't know.
All I know is the amount of times I've seen the Knack outnumbers both of you combined.
I think so.
I agree on that one, Captain.
The count is 1-1 on Jansen Reeder. It'll be Reeder, Donahue, and Ballestero. That'll be 3-4-5. Here to start the top of the 4th. Drivers looked good as the 1-1 tap foul. As he worked his way around a leadoff walk in the 3rd. 2 straight fielder's choices, and then a nice leaping catch by Alex Lane to keep Chatham at triple goose eggs. It'll be a 1-2 coming to Reeder. Pitch inside. He's the benefactor, another benefactor, quite a few of JUCO ball. 36, the number 36 Impact JUCO transfer from Cowley Community College. As the 2-2 outside. As he led the Cowley side to a conference and regional championship at the JUCO level, and they fell short in the championship game of the national title. Here's the payoff. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Oh.
Close call, but he does go around as Reeder is down swinging on strikes.
When we say back foot slider, that literally hit his back foot. That literally was into his back foot, and he tried to check his swing, couldn't hold back, and that just goes to show how filthy Jay Driver is, with a ton of movement on that slider, diving out of the zone, and it fooled him.
Kyson Donahue steps up with no on and one out. As he wraps it, and it hits Driver, came right back off him. He gets the ball up, fires, but not in time. Let's take a look at Driver. I mean, bit of concern, a little bit of shuffling around in the dugout, but yep, Driver shakes it off, says, I'm good to the dugout. Let's keep going.
What a job by Driver to stay with the play. So you get hit, he's not shooken up and stays with it because he understands he is the closest between Smith and the potential Snow to come in and get it. Stays with the play, continues off even after getting hit on the foot, and still makes a pretty clean throw in the dirt, and a good job by Lane to dig it out because we've seen errant throws cost the Harbor Hawks early in the year.
First hit of the game goes to Donahue. First pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did around. 0-1 to Ballestero.
Interesting little setup here, of course, with the three-man umpiring crew. The appeal went down to the third base line, but the second base umpire was, of course, at second base. Nothing we can do about that.
0-1 is low.
Yeah, and when you talk about the umpiring crew, you got Christopher Scott out there, Stephen Williams behind the plate, and Rudy Firmbach over at first base, making all the calls for us today on this three-man crew. We'll go to 4 in the playoffs, though.
Here's the 1-1. There's a strike. Pumped in right down the middle with the heat. Ballestero missed only one start for St. John's this year. One of only 2 St. John's members with double-digit home runs. And he also reached base safely in 11 of his last 12 games to end the season. Looking to bring that same form here to the Cape. As the 1-2 is on the ground. To first, Lane fields and flips to a covering Driver to put away out number 2. Practice your PFPs, and that's how it rolls. 2 away now.
PFP in action today. We talked about Driver on that last play where we got hit. Staying with the play, does a good job. Doesn't get blindsided because especially on one of those plays you can get caught not thinking about it, but automatically knows where he's got to go, gets over there in time to get 2 away.
Yeah, you mentioned it. We see a lot of pitchers kind of sleeping on those, and they're late to get over, and it becomes a foot race to the bag, but a great job by Driver. Of course, the pitcher has a lot less ground to cover over to first base, and also a good job by Lane. He came way off of his position at first base.
First pitch to Caden Kent is high. Kent walked his first time around.
Have we had this many planes taking off in the middle of the game?
I think it's clear skies today. I don't remember that many, but the major airport on Cape Cod is only a couple feet away.
I feel like we're at Citi Field right now.
The 1-0 catches the outside corner. Good slider from Driver.
Yeah, drove down there. My baby cousin had her first birthday, so I had to go down to New York City in the Queens. And you don't realize how close LaGuardia is until you're driving down the interstate and you look at Citi Field to your left and you have LaGuardia to your right, and they're just planes taking off. It is crazy.
1-1 in the dirt.
I can't wait to go to Citi Field. I've heard good things about it.
It looked beautiful from the outside. That's one of the few ballparks in this area that I have not touched as I am from Connecticut.
The only reason that I know that planes, take off close to Citi Field is because I play too much of MLB The Show.
2-1 is high. Though it may not be my favorite team that plays there, it's a City Field is a very nice ballpark. I've been a few times.
I was going to say, the local New Yorker right there can make the short trip down.
It depends which highways you hit. The time to it isn't so short. Here's the 3-1 coming to Caden Kent. And it's swung on and fouled back. We've seen and we've heard from the Harbor Hawks dugout that Brody Donay is getting some praise for his defense behind the plate, keeping a few balls in front of him and preventing Kyson Donahue from advancing to third.
And he also gunned down a runner back on Saturday in the opening day, showing off his absolute cannon behind home plate.
Here is the payoff. It's a shot down the left field line, running foul. Williamson hustles over, and it's out of play. And if Ben Williamson isn't going to get there, there aren't going to be many people who will.
Yeah, showing off the range. He's got those long strides. You know, I didn't really quite realize how long his strides were until I just watched him run towards the left field foul pole. More of a bound than a run.
Yeah. And like you talk about the dimensions of McKeon Park, the left field foul line is a little brought in a little bit because they have that natural bleacher-like area, a little flat grass area to pop your lawn chair when you come to the park.
Williamson, of course, made his 2 for 2 in the first 2 games on incredible diving plays that just wowed both of us, or all of us.
It'll be a 3-2 coming again. Here's the pitch from Driver. It's low. Visible frustration from Driver on the mound. Now first and second 2 out for Robin Fernandez.
Yeah, missed his spot there. Maybe pulled that fastball a little low. But still 2 outs. You're 1 out. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of this. But definitely don't want to play around with walking another hitter here. Walk number 3 of Driver's outing so far. He's only surrendered 1 hit, though.
First pitch to Fernandez, foul. Fernandez from Havana, Cuba, made the trip across and now plays for St. Thomas Bobcats in the NAIA. Put together a nice season, hitting .275 for the Bobcats. The 0-1 in there, and now Driver quickly ahead 0-2.
Backdoored that slider. Perfect location. That looks like, to a hitter, it looks like it's going about 3 inches off the plate, and then at the last second it just breaks and catches that corner.
It'll be an 0-2 coming from Driver to Fernandez. The pitch, ripped but foul down the first base line, and a sigh of relief from Jay Driver.
Okay, because in that exact moment you are scoring quite easily with Donahue over at second, because it would have been in that nasty right-hand corner where it's tough to get a play in, especially with a guy on speed that like Donahue has over at second.
We'll do the 0-2 again. Driver sets and deals inside.
I like that pitch call. Try and go in. He's been working that outside part of the zone here a little bit, but trying to go in, try and nug him up, because you saw him on that last play really go in and have to fight it off. So trying to see if you could get a swing and miss there.
See if you can't catch him leaning out over the plate.
Here's the 1-2. Wave and a miss. That's a big strikeout, and Driver likes what he's seeing. And he works around the single and walk to strand 2. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, it is 3-0 to the Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Kino. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects. with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Hawks come up for the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Andrew Sundin to start. I beg your pardon, that's actually Brody Donay. They're both tall and they're lanky in stature, and they're also one number apart, so hey. It's a 3-0 Hyannis lead that they take into the bottom of the fourth. Seen a few arms down the first baseline warming for Chatham, but it is still Trey Gibson's game so far.
Yeah, so Hyannis got those 3 runs in the first, and that's great. They were taking great at-bats in the first. But since then, Gibson has really settled down. He's settled into the rhythm here. Yes, he hit a batter in the last inning, and then he gave up a single. But overall, he hasn't been hurt at all. So we'll see if Hyannis can't jump on him a little bit once again here in the 4th inning.
Brody Donay will start us off. Took a nice hack at the and swung and fouled it off. Count is 0-1. Takes a step up in the box and leaves it low.
Man. See, he did that last night too, and I don't know if he sees something from the pitchers that he's looking at, or because both times he did it, they were off-speed pitches.
Yeah.
1-1 into center field. Over goes Pittman, and over goes Schallenberger, and it drops. And it hit off of the glove of Pittman. It was a sliding attempt, and he's just not came off for him. And Donay starts off the bottom of the fourth with a leadoff double.
It's been a bit of a frustrating start to the Cape League season for Donay, but he comes through right here. And it was a professional, we like to call that a professional swing right there. He just kind of hit it where they ain't, made him run a long way. Pittman showing off his range. He nearly got there. I didn't think he had a shot to get there, but man, he covered a lot of ground to give himself a shot.
Off the heel of the glove, and Donay on as the first pitch is popped foul on a bunt attempt from Justin Casella.
We saw him trying to lay a couple of bunts down last night. Trying to do that once again here. Get Donay over into third base, try and set up a situation where you can get him in on a fly ball.
Yeah, this is Casella's role in the bottom of the order. He's got a runner in scoring position already, and advancing him over to third will be is the way that he can fulfill a role.
Casella tried to lay a bunt down in that big 8th inning last night, but was unable to, but then came through with a single and a 2-strike count.
0-1 is in there, and quickly behind is Casella 0-2. And we talked about, you said it, Mickey, it has been a frustrating start, and Donay got a nice swing on it and put it in the gap. So Donay now off the mark. Here is the 0-2. Casella sat on it, fouled it back.
And not to take away from anything, but I always feel like the first couple of batting practices are so vital for how the rest of the season is going to play out for a player, because those batting practices, when you get to really feel with it and get that extra reps, don't get me wrong, it's nothing like live at-bats, but getting that batting practice is a huge help to once again relieve that frustration and say, hey, you're doing something.
Wave and a miss from Casella. Good morning, good evening, good night. Justin Casella says Trey Gibson, and there is one out, and the lineup turns over for Brad Keylori.
4th strikeout of the game for Gibson is, once again, we've seen him kind of settle in a little bit more. That off-speed pitch, he's locating it more. His fastball especially. He was missing badly in the first inning, especially in that right-handed hitter's batter's box, but he's kind of found his release point there. And right as I say that, he missed with a fastball.
Laurie played at Wabash Valley College, and that is a JUCO school. Wabash Valley College mascot, Jacob Irons, anything?
Warriors.
Yep. Wow. There you go. He's done his prep, folks.
That is
Don't worry.
just crazy.
No, I'm not worried at all.
It's locked. It is locked and loaded up here.
He knew we were going to grill him on these mascots.
Oh, yes. Because Josh, our producer, hit me yesterday with Pepperdine, and that one was a tough one. And Pepperdine is the Waves, we have now come to find out. And I could not recall that one yesterday during an inning break.
I actually got that one. I don't know if they've got that on the tape or anything, but things from no, of course not, says our producer Josh Schreiber. I'll give myself the credit for it. That's one just those obscure little things. Don't know where it sticks with you, but it does. He's now committed to Tennessee for next year, so that's what JUCO does for guys, and that's what the Cape does as well. So Laurie's showing out in junior college, and he's earned himself a trip to Knoxville with the Vols. 2-1 is low, as Savi had to look Donay back to second. Yeah, you see a lot of guys like Laurie from the junior colleges, from not necessarily the NCAA, and it's so wonderful that the Cape gives them these opportunities. It gives these guys, it gives the bigger guys the opportunities to be recognized. But hey, the lower guys, and a lot of this league wouldn't really even be here without these JUCO guys. It's a hot shot down the third base line and in for a base hit. Rounding third is Donay. He will score. It's an RBI single for Bradkey Laurie. And yeah, junior college, baby. He scores Brody Donay, and it's a 4-0 lead for the Hawks.
Good piece of hitting. He got a fastball center cut and did not miss it. He absolutely scorched that one down the left field line and did exactly what he needed to do with that pitch. And once again, Harbor Hawks, they have good bat control. They're swinging at good pitches, and that's kind of what the takeaway of what not to do from that first game that we said. And they're just doing it extremely well in the last two nights.
Yeah, knocked down Robin Fernandez. It's a really tough play to make. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Knocked him down, a hot shot on one hop. Laurie now on first. He has looked really good through these first three games now in the leadoff spot as they check on him at first.
Still no action in the bullpen here, which we've talked about this, Mickey, in our illustrious car rides together about around the 4-inning mark is when you're going to start to see those starters really start to come off and maybe start warming up because you only want to leave them a couple. And the starter for yesterday for Chatham only went 4 as well. So interesting to see if someone starts going in that next half inning.
And you see now more with the advanced stats, and to our baseball ops guys, third time through the order is a major thing now in the big leagues, as we're seeing it with a few of those pitchers, that the average against third time through the order skyrockets. So as Lipsy fouls off the 2-0 to make it a 2-1 count now. So whenever you're seeing that third time through the order, you start to say, okay, time to get these guys up depending on how it goes.
Yeah, and then there's also the other element of pitch counts and inning counts that you want to play an advocate on.
And a lot of these guys just came off seasons where they're some of the best pitchers on their team.
Yeah.
So they're getting a heavy workload with their collegiate schools. So they're coming off throwing a lot of bullets during the regular season. So coming out over here, you don't want to overwork these guys. Again, they have such bright futures that, a lot of these guys are going to play at the next level. You don't want to mess with that.
Here's the 2-1 to Lipsy. Showed bunt, but pulled back. Count now 3-1 on the Ohio State sophomore. Hitting in the 2-hole. He hit leadoff for the Buckeyes. And he's basically serving as a second leadoff hitter right behind Bradkey Laurie. Hitter's count is in the third time he's seen a 3-1 count, and it's up the middle. It took a nice bounce, nice flip over to second to get the force from Sprang Lott. Donahue puts it away as Lipsy reaches first on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, great defensive play there from Sprague. Coming over, has a lot of room to cover because he's playing in that traditional shortstop spot, and that was directly up the middle. It's almost hit second base, so he has to come over there. And then also, his momentum is pulling him one way while he's got to get the throw over to the other way with coming in as Donahue. Great job to, once again, showing body control, getting it over there in time, and not making an errant throw.
Yeah, really smooth flip as well. That's what you like seeing. That oozes confidence as well. So it's a 1-0 count to Lane. He was hit by a pitch both times. He's up today in the first and the third by Gibson. Here's the 1-0. There goes Lipsy. Throw down to second. It wasn't plenty of time, but it was a poor and short throw, and it went into center field, which allows Lipsy to reach third standing.
Harbor Hawks continue to create chaos on the base paths and continue to steal a lot. We see a lot of it in the Cape League, but the Harbor Hawks especially like their small ball, and Lipsy puts a ton of pressure on the defense to not let him run. And you saw it there.
He stole 9 for the Buckeyes in Big Ten play this season as it's waved on and missed. He also stole 16 bases in the Northwoods League last year.
Now they'll advance him to third on an error, on an errant throw. So to put him at third.
The 2-1 to Lane, catches the outside corner, count even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth. The Hawks have 1 in. With another one 90 feet away, the 2-2 is low, and the count runs full. Lipsy leads off of third. He just stole second and advanced on the throwing error from Savi. Gibson sets, and here's the payoff. He has walked him, and that'll send Sundin to the plate with runners on the corners.
Yeah, went off speed, low and away, and it was a good pitch, but it just missed the plate there. It was a little outside, little low, just below the knees, and good job by Lane to lay off there.
Sundin with the 2-run single in the first. He had a bases clearing double last night, and this came after he was not sat in the cleanup spot on Saturday. So he sat there again, and he's proving his worth in that cleanup spot in the 2 games he's been there. He's got runners on the corners here, and he rips the first pitch foul into a conveniently placed screen down the left field line. So Eric Beatty pushing a few buttons from the first game on Saturday. Jacob Irons mentioned you have to tool with the lineup early in these first few games. Sundin seems to be finding himself a nice spot in the cleanup hole. 0-1 blown by him for strike 2. He's quickly behind now.
Yeah, you always like to see, especially in these early stages, like we talked about in the pregame show, about got to make those movements to readjust. But so far, it's worked out so far for the Hawks.
0-2, just low.
Yeah, he wanted it, but it was below the knees. It was pretty clearly below the knees, but
that's the 0-2 mentality there,
yeah,
where you want to protect and you don't want to go down being rung up looking.
It'll be a 1-2. Gibson deals, and it's waved on and missed, but not before Brad Keylori brings in the 4th Harbor Hawk run of the game. We're through 4 here at McKeon Park, and it is 4-0 to the Harbor Hawks. You are watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it. Did it better. And she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
We go to the top of the 5th here at McKeon Park. It's the Hawks with a 4-0 lead now over Chatham. Jay Driver in for his 5th inning of work, having only given up the 1 hit so far. He's looked really, really strong. He's walked a few, but he's worked his way around each, soft contact and strikeouts being the key.
Yeah, again, he's got that lower three-quarters release moving, and he is shoving right now as he's going to face the bottom of the order and then the leadoff hitter Pittman due up in this inning.
8-9-1 for the Anglers, and it starts with Mark Schallenberger. Four strikeouts to the name so far for Driver, as it's fouled back on the first pitch. It'll be an 0-1 coming from Driver. The 0-1, nice pick from Donay. It'll be a Hawks have a 4-0 lead, as it'll be if these next 3 outs can be converted by Driver, he will put himself in line for a decision, as the 1-1 is low. Count is now 2-1.
And it's like we talked about that 4-inning mark, but once again now into the 5th inning for Jay Driver to come on out and really take notice.
Looks to be a little bit of activity in the bullpen down the left field line. Just might be a little bit of stretching. No arms up on the mounds just yet. It'll be a 3-1 from Driver. Good slider to get himself back to a full count.
Yeah, Carlos Ray for Chatham up and getting some movement.
And was it a strikeout? I mean, it looks like Schallenberger is on his way down to first, but it was called strike 3. Looked to be a little low. It was a bit of confusion between Schallenberger and the home plate umpire, but he is eventually rung up. I don't even know if he heard the call. Either that or it was a really good sell.
Stephen Williams definitely punched him out there. I'm not sure where the confusion was. Maybe he didn't call the strike 3 loud enough, but he clearly made the motion and wasn't sure where he thought he was headed down to first on.
I've never seen that before. Logan Savi reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. He's quickly ahead in the count 2-0. It'll be a 2-0 coming. Driver winds and deals, fouled off.
The home run horn misfires out in Hyannis Port.
When 2-1 here, really big attacking opportunity here for Hyannis, especially in Jay Driver. You don't want to fall too far behind, especially in the later part of this game where you want to still be attacking, and however, you do have an out to your name, which is always confidence and brings that to you.
Hitter's count here, and it'll be a 3-1 the pitch. That's another good one to get himself back full. Driver has worked himself back well, and here's the payoff. It's a weak chopper over second, ranging over and fielding his Snow. He fires across, and a nice smooth play from the shortstop puts away out number 2.
Eric Snow, the AAC Defensive Player of the Year, showing off a little bit of range. He's struggled a little bit over at short to begin this summer, but man, he shows off some range there and makes a strong throw over to first. You got to have a strong arm if you're going to play short. You just need to, and it's plays like that exactly displays why you need that.
Oh, 100%.
First pitch outside. We've seen in these early goings of the summer that Snow and Laurie have been used interchangeably at second and short. Snow is a strong enough arm he could even play third, as the 1-0 to Cam Pittman is low. Pittman 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice on the day. Driver working with pace here in these later goings. The 2-0 catches the corner, count 2-1. And here it comes. bounced inside. It did not catch him, so he stays in the box. Count now 3-1. Third straight 3-ball count. And he has bared down very nicely. Struck out Schallenberger looking, and he got Savi to ground out to short. Here's the 3-1. He's got it again. So all three batters he's been down to, and all three batters he's worked back to a full count.
Have done a great job of interchanging pitches there to get himself in this spot.
The payoff is a little soft liner out behind short, and diving and missing it is Snow, and just barely. Snow gave a really nice ranging effort, had to almost go over the shoulder, and it dunks in once it falls for a 2-out single.
Now the attention kind of shifts to the dugout as Jay Driver's kind of looking over there, seeing if time's going to be called. And yes, time is called, but I don't believe that this will be a pitching change, guys.
Yeah, no, this won't be a pitching change. However, there's still a little bit of motion in the Hyannis bullpen at the current moment.
And this is a good start. This is a good time to call a mound meeting here, just to see if he can get this last out, give a little bit of time for the arms to work out. I believe it is Carter Lovaz who is down in the pen.
Ben Williamson's William and Mary teammate out there throwing, the big, tall, right-handed pitcher at 6'3", but it looks like this will be Jay Driver's inning, as he will stay out there and try and complete 5 innings of work today.
Yeah, and like you said, you have 2 outs and only a runner on first. You're not necessarily in a really high-leverage situation. And then once again, you're looking at it, it's 4-0, so you have a couple runs. You can give up a run if necessary. So I like the time, taking that meeting on the mound, having that conversation and say, hey, 2 outs here, man. Just want to give you a breather here before that we really have to be forced to make a call.
Just the second hit of the day allowed by Driver. But now Lovaz is the one warming. He could see treacherous stepping here should the inning continue as Sprague Lott steps in. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And check back at first on Pittman.
Gotta say, back to that single, Eric Snow covered a lot of ground into shallow left field. Again, you know, we talked about his arm just a second ago, but there's the range, too, that you need at the shortstop position as the runner goes.
There goes Pittman, throw down to second. He got him! A laser from Brody Donay ends the inning and keeps Jay Driver in contention for the win. That's a big throw out. And after the single from Pittman, he is caught stealing, and nobody is left on base for the Harbor Hawks. At the end of 4.5, we're halfway home from McKeon Park. 4-0 Harbor Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Welcome back. It is back to the bottom of the 5th as Hyannis has a 4-0 lead. It's the end of Trey Gibson's day. We're working on seeing who that is, who is now in. It will be a lefty arm, and it is Carlos Ray. We saw him working in the bullpen earlier last inning. He is a lefty thrower, and he looked really, really nice in his JUCO outings this year. As it'll be Williamson to start off the bottom of the 5th. Will be 5, 6, 7. Williamson, Smith, and Snow here in the bottom of the 5th. As Gibson's day is done. Williamson stands in, 2 for 2 on the day. Takes the first pitch low. His single in the first, plated 1.
Yeah, Gibson goes through 4, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, walked 4, and then struck out 5 through 22 batters on his first outing of the summer.
You beat me by a second.
I have point streak. I just use that.
Well, I was going to total it manually.
1-1 foul down the right field line.
If you haven't noticed this summer, Mickey Doolittle is a big pitcher line guy. And maybe I should just hold off and make that your specialty for the summer.
I don't know. It's
1-2 cut back into the screen.
It's just hard. It's strikeouts and walks that are just so hard to add up and everything. And I don't want to cheat because Point Streak does it for you. I like to cross-reference, make sure Point Streak's on the same wavelength as I am.
That's what we like to hear.
Here's the 1-2 to Williamson. Went to go get that. It's a shallow fly ball into center, and it dunks in front of Pittman. And Williamson 3 for 3. 3 singles and 3 at-bats for the William and Mary now left fielder. He's a third baseman shortstop by trade. He can do it in the outfield and left. He can do it with the bat too.
And I've mentioned that in both of his first 2 at-bats, and now I'm going to mention it again in his third at-bat. That's bat control right there. That's being able to get bat to ball, putting it in play, putting it where they ain't. And now a stealing threat is on board for Hyannis. We'll see if he runs again.
Wave and a miss from Cam Smith. Talking about plate approaches as well. He's looked a lot better in his first 2 games. He was visibly frustrated and visibly needed some calming down in his first game. His first game jitters, and how it always happens. Young, excited college prospect from Florida State. Just finished up a really nice freshman year with the Seminoles, playing third and short. Had a .258, his 12 homers, second on the team. That's also the most by a freshman since 2004. As the 0-1 foul back, his fly out back in the third inning, he gave it a really good ride, but just short as it was put away by Pittman on the warning track.
All ACC freshman team for him.
Here's the 0-2. Just low.
Yeah. Good pitch there. A little bit of run off the edge. Dove out of the zone, a fastball. You don't have much time to make a decision on that one, and good take.
The 1-2. It's ripped on the ground to short and turned nicely out at short by Sprang Lott to put away the force as Smith reaches on the fielder's choice.
We've talked about communication. That's always my big talking point so far, and a little bit of a miscommunication there between Fernandez and Spraglot, just pulling off at the last time is Fernandez to allow it to go through and allow the shortstop to make the play over to Donahue a second.
Yeah, you commonly see the third baseman going for that ball, and if it gets through, the shortstop will normally stick through it. They're taught to play as if that ball is going to go through. But yeah, Fernandez pulling off at the last second for Sprang Lott to turn. It could have been a difficult turn. As Snow steps up with 1 on and 1 out. Check back at first on Smith. We're in the bottom of the 5th here at McKeon Park. Hawks have a 4-0 lead. Three of them coming in the first. Andrew Sundin drove in 2. Ben Williamson, the next batter after him, drove in 1. 2 walks and a hit by pitch by Laurie, Lipsy, and Lane to start off the game. Has set up Sundin and Williamson nicely as Eric Snow pokes that foul.
Snow grounded into a fielder's choice in the third and walked in the first. He's going to have a big hole on that right side of the infield because they're holding the runner on.
The 1-2, he aimed for it there, but fouls it into the screen, and we'll do it again.
I didn't see that one come down. hit the screen. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
It'll be a 1-2 again. Snow fighting. Cam Smith leads off first. Just grounded into a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-2. Chopped foul again. And we'll do it one more time. Brody Donay awaits on deck. Donay doubled and scored in his last at-bat. Smith leads off first. Ray comes set and deals. It's a fly ball out into right center, tailing away, and that ball will get down in the gap and reach the wall. Smith flying around third. He's coming home. No throw. It's an RBI double force Eric Snow, and it is a 5-0 Hawks lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Absolutely scorched out to right center field. And Pittman with a lot of range out there in center field. Even he couldn't get there. And a nice piece of hitting from Eric Snow to pick up a Harbor Hawks insurance run here. And it's 5-0 Hawks.
Yeah, you said it, Mickey. There was a big hole on that right side of the infield.
He's going the other way, yeah.
Yeah, and he just went and took it the other way. Nice back control, and once again, really nice job in the pitch selection and just swinging at the correct pitch. So now a run in. And a runner in scoring position again for Donay.
And you got to say, Cam Smith off the bat, standing at first base, he read that really, really well. The minute it went off the bat, he took off. And that really could have cost them the run there. He might have had to stop at third if he would have hesitated a little bit more, even been thrown out. But a great read off the bat from Cam Smith.
Smith running so fast that a couple of his other buttons came off his shirt there, coming in with his BP shirt underneath the jersey over there. That just goes to show you that wind friction on him running did some damage on the uniform.
Wave and a miss from Donay.
He looks like the guy from the World Baseball Classic. I forget what country it was.
Oh, yes.
But, you know, his shirt came undone, and he just pitched through an inning. He got a couple of huge outs with his top buttons unbuttoned.
1-2, golf down out into left field for a base hit. Snow rounds third, and it gets past Kent in left field. Snow scores, and here goes Donay around second, digging for third. He slides in safely. It's an RBI triple for Donay. We'll see how they score it. Whether or not it's an error, we'll see. But regardless, Snow scores. Donay reaches third, and it is 6-0 to the Hawks.
Hitting is contagious. You see it time and time again. Putting bat on ball contact, that has been Hyannis' MO. When they can get one, they can get another one right behind it.
Stringing together hits has been the MO. Yes, it has, Jacob Irons. And now Justin Casella steps up with another run 90 feet away. Looks like they've given, I think, a hit and an error to Donay. Don't know what the hit was ruled. We'll get it in a sec. Here's the 0-1 to Casella.
They'll rule it a triple flat. No error awarded on the play to Donay. So that's a straight triple. Already our second of the summer.
That was a very weird hop for Kent out there. It just bounced up out of nowhere on him as the appeal down to first, no swing. And a massive groan from the Chatham dugout. I was wondering what I was hearing through my headset there, and it was Chatham wanting that be called a strike, but it took a really weird hop and it just went over his head. I don't know how you can rule that one an error.
1-2 wave and a miss. Casella down swinging.
Yeah, it's just one of those that it would have been a tough error, and I agree with the situation to rule it, the decision to rule it a triple.
Once again, going back to our broadcast partners, Michael's stance didn't necessarily hit his gloves, so can you really rule it the error there?
Pretty sure that was my stance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's excuse me.
It's not
then.
a stance. It's a thing, right? Like everybody thinks that. It's a general rule of thumb.
No glove, no error. Here's the 1-0.
No
wave and a miss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Count goes even to 1. Donay stands on third, 2 runs in here in the bottom of the 5th. Hawks now out to a 6-0 lead. Seen them string together hits yesterday. We've seen it today as well. When it rains, it pours for the Hawks. Laurie is behind 1 and 2. Lineup card has turned over. Laurie's 4th plate appearance of the day. He's 0 for 2, or he's 1 for 2, beg your pardon, with a walk and a run scored. 1-2 is upstairs.
Yep, 3 for 6 night last night. Hitting .500 in his last 8 plate appearances. With a walk.
Production from your leadoff batter is exactly what you want to set the tone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 in, and it hits. Did it hit Laurie? No. Bounced in front of the plate. And the count runs full. Did look like it hit him, but I feel like that would have hit him in a spot where he definitely would have reacted to it.
That was a great block from Sauve to try and keep Donay over at third, who it felt like he had a good amount of speed rounding second and to jump into third. He went in there really quick as someone hit a button, and that's not supposed to happen. As I Feel Good is playing over the speakers.
Oh, great
the
song,
Harbor Hawks certainly feel good about themselves right now. In a 6-0 game, maybe the Harbor Hawks staff just wanted to bust a move in the press box a little bit.
Here's the payoff, and it's upstairs. Ball 4, so Laurie walks.
Another great at-bat here from the Harbor Hawks is worked that count to 3-2, knocked a couple of pitches out of him, and ultimately draws the walk and gets on base.
Up steps Lipsy. We did have a bit of a mistake early on as Bradkey Laurie attends the College of Central Florida now. He was at Wabash beforehand. He now transferred from there to the College of Central Florida.
Currently committed to Tennessee as well after entering the transfer portal.
Very nice journey for him, all the way up through to D1 now. 1-0 count on Lipsy. They check on Laurie at first. Lipsy 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Runners on the corners. The Donay triple and the Laurie walk. The 1-0 to Lipsy. In there, strike 1.
Laurie, in addition to being 4 for 8 in his last 8 plate appearances, he has 3 stolen bases. He stole second and third earlier today, and he stole second in the 3rd inning of last night's game.
So yeah, justified checks coming from Carlos Ray. Got another speedster at the plate in Trey Lipsy. He's walked and reached on a fielder's choice as earlier stated. He's stolen a base both times. Count is now 2-1 on the Ohio State Buckeye. 2 runs in here in the bottom of the 5th. As the Harbor Hawks threaten for more here with 2 outs. Ray sets and deals in there for strike 2. Count runs even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on and 2 in. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Be a big out for Ray if he gets it. The lefty sets and deals. And it's fisted off the hands, and you see the pitcher make the play. Not often do you see it, but Ray was off the mound falling that way anyway to put it away for out number 3. But 2 more runs come in for the Harbor Hawks at the end of 5, 6-0 to Hyannis here at McKeon Park. You are watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
To the top of the 6th we go. As Jay Driver's day is done, Carter Lovaz comes on in relief. Very strong outing from Jay Driver. We will get his final line in just a moment as Lovaz warms up. He will face 2, 3, and 4 in the order as Jared Sprague-Lott will start us off. He gets a fresh count after Cam Pittman got caught stealing to end the top of the 5th. So Sprague-Lott starts off, and then Reeder and Donahue.
Jay Driver's day finishes with a great line of 5 innings, 2 hits, no earns, no runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts across 19 hitters faced. That guy is going to be something special going forward.
He really will be, and someone that I bet you we'll see a couple more scouts come on out and come out in view again to just really see that. Like we said, his sidearm motion on those pitches, just the run on them, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, that's your first start of the season, too, if you're Jay Driver. So coming out really, really strong. We saw Ty Good get the early hook last night. He was set in a very precarious situation for himself, but it was relatively clean all throughout the night despite the walks, runners on first and second. Yeah, nothing to worry about if you're Jay Driver. Really, really nice work in his first start of the summer. Sprague-Lott steps in for his third at-bat, his second attempt at his third at-bat. First pitch is inside. It will be the bullpen from here on out for the Harbor Hawks. We saw 3 arms thrown last night as the 1-0 soft fly ball out into shallow right. Out goes Lowry and puts it away.
Yeah, good piece of defensive. Like we talk about the lights starting to really take into effect, and Mickey always makes to mention it as the sky's starting to turn that color at that moment. You have those at that spot where you really could lose the ball at certain moments.
First pitch outside. The 1-0 from Lovaz. 2-0 the count.
Lovaz, a guy that throws a lot of sinkers and more changeups than most guys ever throw. Throws his changeup more than his sinker or his fastball.
And this has always been a question I have in that situation. Does the changeup, you have to have really great movement on your changeup to really have that, I would have to imagine.
The 2-1 foul, third base side out of play.
Yeah, you do. And a lot of that is that arm side run. It'll kind of tail. If you're a right-handed pitcher, it'll tail towards that right-handed batter's box. It's tough on righties.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little less tough on lefties, but still, hard because it's tailing away.
2-2, bounce in the dirt, and the count runs full.
But the advantage of that is you can get a lot of ground balls. If you're able to locate that changeup on the outer third of the plate, you can get a lot of hitters to roll over on it. You see guys in the majors like Logan Webb doing that all the time.
It'll be a payoff pitch coming from Lovaz. And he just stays alive, does Jansen Reeder.
Can't tell who got hit by that. Somebody that got hit in the mask. It was either Stephen Williams, the home plate umpire, or Brody Donay, the catcher, but both of them seem to be okay.
The payoff pitch bounced in the dirt, and a leadoff walk. Well, no, not a leadoff walk, beg your pardon. A one-out walk for Reeder.
And again, Lovaz, where his game is going to be best, just based off of the pitches that he throws, is when he's inducing ground balls.
Yeah.
because that changeup sinker combo is so good to getting hitters to hit on top of the ball and make weak contact. He's not going to be the biggest strikeout guy.
So 1 on and 1 out for Donahue. 1 for 2 on the day. Only working with the third time around the order now, as Pittman was the only guy to have gotten to driver on his third time around, and you can see why. It's a big thing. We were talking about earlier how those averages spike third time through the order. Driver having gotten himself out of it just in time with the help of Brody Donay, snaring Cam Pittman, catching him trying to steal second base to end that top of the fifth. It'll be a 1-1 to Donahue. Nice off speed on the outer half. Count runs to 1-2.
We've talked about this great Harbor Hawks pitching staff. They've given up 9 runs so far on the year, but only 4 of those have been earned. And that is currently the lowest in the league. And mind you, a lot of teams have only played 1 game, Chatham being one of them because of a rainout opening day. That was great location there, but did not get the call. That one looked like it came back into the zone, so no call here.
Again, with that off speed, he went to it, and it was a nice location. Count is now 2-2. The pitch to Donahue.
Ooh.
Again, very close with the off speed. Count runs full. Seemed to be the same spot.
Yeah, at least you're consistent. Looked like it was very borderline there.
Yeah.
Tight calls, but now he has to work to get that last strike. Here is the payoff as there goes the runner. It's on the ground to short. Beg your pardon, to second as Laurie puts away out number 2. That was a double play ball had the hit and run not been on. So the runner advances to second on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that's the advantage of sending runners on 3 and 2, even if there is 1 out. Like, it has a little bit of risk factor involved. You increase the chances of a line drive double play, but you take away the possibility if your hitter grounds one on the infield, it takes away the possibility of a double play there.
2 away, runner in scoring position for Ballestero. 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice on the day.
And once again, you have to give credit to Laurie there to not try and force the double play, because you can easily be in that situation and say, hold on, this is too good of an opportunity. I really want to turn 2. We see it all the time in the major leagues.
Pop foul.
But he does a great job of understanding the situation he is and get the sure out.
And we see it a lot at the collegiate level, too.
Yeah.
We'd almost see it more at the collegiate level because, you know, guys are less experienced. You know, being an infielder is almost having a sixth sense, just knowing where you are at all times, knowing where that wall is if you're chalking down a pop fly, knowing where to go with the ball, where the runners are, where the right play is.
100%.
Here's the 1-1 outside. Lovaz being the first on in relief of Jay Driver. We won't see a few guys we saw last night, Jamie Arnold being one of them, and Daniel Trumper, both of them throwing 2 1/3 in very strong relief. 2-1 waved at and missed. So you look for a bit of length out of the bullpen, and they've gotten it so far. Look to see if Lovaz can continue to provide it as the 2-2 in the air to center. Settling under it is Lipsy to put away out number 3. Another clean inning for the Harbor Hawks as it is 6-0 after 5.5, as let's send it down to the 4th member of our team, Bria Lassick.
Himself a nice 2 for 3 day with a double and a triple. He was, being coached a little bit by the hitting coach, Drew Earhart, yesterday. Kind of took him aside during batting practice and was adjusting his swing a little bit. I asked Drew what he was talking to him about. He said that Brody was not using his size enough. He stands at 6'5" in the box, and he was just hunching over, and Drew said, I wish that I had his size when I was playing. So he said, use your size, stand up, generate more power that way. And it looks like he made that adjustment here. Back to you guys.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Bottom of the 6th inning gets right up and started as we come back. 1-0 count on Alex Lane. He will lead us off here in the bottom of the 6th. Harbor Hawks have a 6-0 lead. They've looked really good all day long. Count is now 1-1 on Lane.
6 runs on 8 hits and no errors for Hyannis. No runs on only 2 hits for Chatham so far today. And they have committed that 1 error.
See Lane's numbers on the season with Northeastern. Here's the 2-1. Up high 3-1. He's reached base all 3 times, gotten hit twice and walked. Here's the 3-1 coming from Ray. The lefty winds and deals upstairs. Leadoff walk to Lane. Want to bring this up about Lane, that you almost might think that his position might be in a bit of jeopardy here. We've got some of the cavalry arriving as more of the infielders and more players will be reporting pretty soon. As we see Billy Amick, the Clemson first baseman, will be joining us, believe, tomorrow. And Gavin Cash will also be joining us soon. 2 extremely high caliber first basemen coming into Hyannis.
It's okay. You don't have to beat around the bush. You can mention your guy.
What do you mean?
Petrutz?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, we've got a few
forgot
more
about
coming
his own.
in. Hey,
he forgot about his own school.
I was stuck. I was on Alex Lane saying that the first base position is going to be really strong. Petrutz can play some first, primarily at DH, some outfield as well. Saw some corner outfield work in left field in College Park this season. 0-1 to Sundin is low, kind of shrugs down, doesn't like the call too much. Count goes to 0-2.
And mind you, Petrutz was Michael's preview player of the season during our preseason conversations.
Very interesting.
Fouled away. I just haven't seen too much of Petrutz at first. They've got a guy there already in Maryland, and Eddie Hakopian. So no, he wasn't on my mind at the in that moment. No.
We're just giving you a hard
Of course
time.
you are. Of course you are.
I like questioning how big of a terp you are.
Oh, please. No need to question it. The 0-2 is hit weakly on the ground to short, fired over by Sprang Lott to get the out at first. Runner advances to second. Nice play by Sprang Lott. Nice and sure, as we saw last inning, to not force the double play again and just to get the shore out. Up steps Williamson. He's put together a really nice day so far. 3 for 3, all 3 singles. One of them scored a run back in the first. The pitch to Williamson is outside. We've also got another Clemson boy joining us, Will Taylor. The corner outfielder will be joining us a few days from today on Friday. Amick will get in tonight.
I'm excited to see Billy Amick.
Oh, yeah.
That's a guy that had the highest batting average in Clemson Tiger, in the Clemson Tigers baseball
program history.
Thank you. Wow. Jeez, words are failing me right now. Since 2002, when Khalil Green hit 470. Of course, Amick, only hit 413 this year. That's not great.
Where are those other few points? Come on. But yeah, so it's a strong first base position, it looks to be, for the Hawks, and then Gavin Cash will be coming in right behind him, coming in pretty hot as well, as it's a 3-0 to Williamson. He takes strike one, dead red coming.
And I think also with the cavalry coming in as well, you're going to be excited to get some guys some rest as well. Understandably, they haven't been playing necessarily like every day so far yet, but they're now getting to their third game in a row. They'll have their fourth tomorrow at Brewster, but now you're going to get to the point where you want to start giving some guys some days off.
Yeah, that's the nice thing that you see already with Sundin and Donay. They're the only two catchers on the roster at the moment, but giving them days off consecutively, we see Donay doing the catching today after Sundin did it yesterday.
I do like what they have been doing, just the opposite DHs.
Yeah.
And you rest those legs.
Payoff pitch inside. Williamson works a walk. He's reached base all 4 times. Runners now on first and second with 1 out for Smith.
You think Ben Williamson has gotten over the adjustment period?
I don't think so.
Yet? This is a guy that is going to make a massive impact out here. CAA Player of the Year, great regular season player.
And now you stick that in and put Billy Amick in front of him or maybe even behind him. I mean, you've got guys like Laurie and Lipsy getting on high on base percentages, and you know that Amick is going to absolutely love that feast on with those runners on base.
And if the pitching staff, it's a small sample size. It's only, 2.5 games now? But if the pitching staff is anywhere near how good they've been so far, this is a dangerous team.
Oh, yeah. The 0-1 to Smith. Low and away. Smith 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice on the day. Did score when he reached on that fielder's choice. 1-1 the count on the Florida State third baseman. He takes the pitch low. Lane off of second. Williamson off of first. Lane doesn't even have an official at bat today. He's gotten hit twice and he's walked twice. Here's the 2-1 coming to Smith. Outside, 3-1 with Snow awaiting on deck.
Yeah, don't want to walk him here. In any situation with 1 out, bases loaded, that's just not where you want to be. You got to pull the infield in. You got to hope for a double play. Maybe pull the infield, or maybe pull the corners in.
It'll be a 3-1 coming from Carlos Ray. He sets and deals. That was in there, and he tapped the curveball foul in front of the plate. 3-2 the count.
Now that wind's starting to blow in to home plate.
Yeah, a little bit of a shift here. It was blowing out a little bit earlier. Now it's kind of shifted back in towards home plate.
Now it's that time to grab that little sweatshirt, maybe go pick one up if you're here down at the Harbor Hawks merchandise stand.
The payoff got him looking as Smith goes down.
Yeah, he knew it immediately. That was absolute paint by Ray there as he picks up his second strikeout of the game so far.
That's a big out. As you said, you don't want to load the bases with only 1 out. So now first and second, 2 outs for Snow. Snow doubled in a run in his last at-bat, also scored. First pitch catches the outside corner.
That's just an unhittable pitch right there. That's one that, is so far outside and on the black that you need to absolutely be expecting that exact pitch to be able to do anything with it.
And it's worked well today, not just there. That pitch has been cooking as Snow fouls the 0-1 into the screen.
Yeah, that first pitch was a perfect pitch, and that one was right down the middle.
Yeah.
And just missed it, Snow. Fouled it straight back.
(0-2) coming to Eric Snow. Carlos Ray sets a long one at that and deals, wave and a miss, and that'll strand the runners at first and second. We're through 6 at McKeon Park, 6-0 to the Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative Tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
To the top of the 7th we go, just past the 2-hour mark here from McKeon Park. And the sun is down, lights are up, and you know what that means. Hey, Harbor Hawks fans, you know that the NAC Cape Cod is the official Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long. Thanks to the NAC, the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all summer long as the future stars take the field. Visit thenac.com to order online today.
You know, rain was a possibility tonight, and it looked pretty bleak earlier in the night, but now it looks like those clouds have dissipated, that we're on their way here to McKeon Park, and it looks like that we've completely missed it. And this game has cooked along pretty quickly, and Michael Kirsting is crossing his fingers, but it you know, the weatherman on my phone says no, and we know he's always right.
Yeah,
I'm a superstitious man.
I think for the next 5 days, there's rain in the forecast. So it's now going to be the question of when does it come? And it looks like tomorrow will be in the morning. So you'll be clear for tomorrow. But I think the rest of the week is going to prove to be interesting about how many games all around the Cape will get off with that rain incoming.
First pitch to Caden Kent, called strike from Carter Lovaz. He came on last inning in relief of Jay Driver, who put in a really solid outing in any respect, but especially for your first start of the summer. Going 5 innings after having not thrown in a competitive situation for a few weeks now. It's a really, really strong start. Only 2 hits, only 3 walks as well, not giving up a run. Just outside. Good spot from Lovaz with the off speed.
In striking out a hitter an inning. That's pretty good for Driver. 5 strikeouts through 5 innings for him.
The 2-1 misses, and now 3-1 on Caden Kent.
We'll be at Brewster tomorrow. And we'll bring you all that action right here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network, and then we're back home against Falmouth.
3-1 waved and missed.
What is it? Tomorrow's Tuesday?
Yeah, today is Monday.
All right. Days blend together when the weather's warm.
Or does it mean that, or it's because we got baseball every single day? That's the beauty of the Cape League out here.
The payoff just over the leaping try of Cam Smith and into left field for a base hit. Big turn by Kent, and he stays at first, leadoff single, and that'll bring up Fernandez.
A little bit of an inside-out blooper that just got over the outreach glove of Smith, but finds its way into left field down the line. And Chatham has a runner on for the 3rd straight inning.
The first pitch to Fernandez, swung on and foul tipped at the plate. And this has been a team, a Harbor Hawks team. We talked about the rosters and a few new guys coming in. We mentioned Amick. We mentioned Taylor. They mentioned Petrutz, catching me sleeping on my Maryland Terrapins knowledge. As the 0-1 served out into left field, that's a base hit.
Same result.
So 2 nicely placed little dunkers out into left field, and just like that, now the Anglers in business here in the top of the 7th.
Nicely placed little dunkers, but on nicely placed pitches.
Yeah.
Both of them were not bad pitches there from Lovaz, but gets the short end of a stick on soft contact, and here we're going to have a meeting at the mound.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's the beauty of baseball when you put your pitches where you want them to go in that spot. But sadly, they are just able to control it and really work through it and be able to get over there in time to pull it into left center field and get it down in time.
That's a good chat to have from Donay just to settle his pitcher down a little bit. So 2 on and nobody out. Lovaz in a bit of trouble now.
Action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen is Mason Nichols.
And the Ole Miss product.
Square to bunt. He pulled back in time, did Mark Schallenberger.
Has yet to appear in a game here for Hyannis so far this summer.
Lovaz is one of 4 relievers available today. Nichols is another. Buchanan and Lanthier the other 2. So those 5 innings of work are appreciated as the 1-0 is inside. Count is now 2-0 on Mark Schallenberger. Sauve awaits on deck, and then the lineup card turns over. Here's the 2-0. Wave and a miss. Big pitch to get himself back into the count. Schallenberger had a bit of a year to forget. He was a first-team All-Missouri Valley Conference selection in 2022 and was given preseason All-Missouri Valley outfielder, but ended up hitting below the Mendoza line. So this is his chance to redeem himself coming back to the Cape. And he'll redeem himself right here as it's a line shot out into right for a base hit, and it gets by Casella and to the wall. 1 run scores as here comes 2, but he's held up. At third is Fernandez. It's an RBI double for Schallenberger, and the Anglers on the board at 6-1.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. Lined that one, and Casella wasn't quite able to cut that off and save that second run, but he got it in quick.
So nice big run to get the Anglers started, and they stay threatening again. Runners now on second and third for Sauve.
It's actually going to be a pinch hitter here.
Yep, pinch hitter coming up for Sauve. It's Caden Hobson. Returning to the Cape, he played last year. Runners on second and third for him. And now Lovaz in quite a bit of a sticky situation as he pulls the first pitch just a little wide, 1-0.
Yeah, the third base coach there on that double from Schallenberger, almost touching the dirt here in that circle. He was down watching it the entire way and running down there with him to try and see where he needed to be.
1-0, it was booted by Lovaz. He'll turn and throw to first in time. Run does score. Had that been cleanly fielded, that holds the runner at third. But the run does score on the fielder's choice by Hobson, and it is now 6-2 to the Hawks.
Always tough when you have a comebacker as a pitcher. That's such a short little it's such a short little comebacker. You don't have a lot of time to react to that. He did a good job of getting his glove on it and able to pick it up and stay composed and make a nice throw. A lot of times, you know, you're kind of expecting an overthrow there, but he puts it right on the money to at least get one out.
The lineup turns over. It's another pinch hitter for the Anglers. Pinch hitting for Pittman will be Will Butcher. He takes the first pitch up and away, 1-0. Lovaz deals, chop foul. So a few moves being made by the Anglers, just trying to get themselves back into things here. They've gotten 2 off of Carter Lovaz. And it's on the ground to short weekly. This will score the other run. Snow comes up and Fields puts away out number 2. And before we started this inning, it was 6-0, and now it's 6-3. Lead's been cut in half.
Yeah, nice little. Butcher doing a great job of just getting out there and making contact to allow the runner to come in. But Skip Eric Beatty has seen enough, and I think he'll make a call to the bullpen here And that will do tonight's night for Lovaz.
So Lovaz lets up 2 runs. Most likely will be Nichols to come on and warm us up to get the final out here in the 7th, as the Hawks, or the Anglers, have been threatening. They just need 1 more to get out of it. 6-3 to Hyannis. We'll be right back.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Tell Mama. Mason Nichols comes on to get the final out of the 7th. He warms up as he is a typical short reliever going about 1 to 3 innings. He is D1 Baseball's preseason reliever power pitchers. He was ranked 20 in that ranking. And pitching in the SEC, you got to be big time. Led Ole Miss with 4 saves and also finished second in 4 wins. So big spot here, as the pressure now is actually a little bit more off, but 3 runs have been scored here in the top of the 7th. So Chatham is back in things here. There's a 3-run game. Back to a save situation.
Yeah, but they're going to have to deal with Mason Nichols, and Nichols is a fastball slider exclusive, and he throws those 2 pitches extremely well. He uses them at very, very high rates. Nichols, of course, using that fastball just a little bit more, but both of them are extremely effective. He's the Ole Miss product. Didn't have a great year this year, but has a ton of raw talent and just a huge threat to go to the next level.
That's why you come to the Cape. Maybe you didn't have that great year in college, but you come to the Cape and rebound and show what you can do with with everything in your way. It's almost like a second season. That's the beauty of Cape Cod. You get to almost wipe it clean and get to come out here again and do it.
So Lovaz is going to go an inning in 2/3. He's not off the hook yet, or excuse me, he is off the hook now. He gives up 3 runs on 3 hits, no strikeouts, and 1 walk.
First pitch to Jared Sprague-Lott, inside with the heat, 92 miles an hour. Here is the 1-0. In there at the knees, count evens at 1.
Nichols, of course, from Ole Miss, he won 2 straight state titles with one of his really good friends, Riley Maddox, in high school. They've known each other since they were 11. And then at Ole Miss, their freshman year, they win the College World Series. And after the dog pile, they find each other, and Mason was like, hey, we're 4 for 4, or excuse me, we're 3 for 3. We're getting pretty good at this, aren't we? We're winning state titles, we're winning national championships, and just a cool story.
The 2-1 upstairs. Count goes to 3-1 on Sprague-Lott. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Jansen Reeder, the designated hitter, on deck. Here's the 3-1 inside, and Reeder comes up with a man on and 2 out.
Well, that's not the result you wanted in the first at bat. You don't want to walk your leadoff guy, but Reeder coming up here.
Once again, you still have 2 outs.
Yeah, you have 2 outs. You're pitch away from getting out of it, but certainly not the result you wanted there.
So 2 out, the first pitch to Reeder in there for strike 1. That's a better start. The fastball pumping heat.
That's what you want to be. You want to be ahead in the count there to be able to throw a couple of those pitches and place them a little bit further away from the strike zone to see if you can get them to chase.
Long set, and the 0-1, wave that and miss, and quickly ahead, 0-2 is Nichols.
Nicely located fastball up and away there. Got him to chase, and might want to go towards a back foot slider. Maybe want to go back to the fastball. He does only throw 2 pitches, so, you know, it's either one or the other.
It'll be an 0-2. Nichols sets and deals, fastball fouled away. Sitting at around 92 now.
Now, once again, do you hit him with the changeup here?
I mean, what's his pitches? I don't think does he have a changeup? I don't know if he does.
He does not. It's just a fastball and slider.
So you hit him with the off-speed and the slider then?
Let's see. The 0-2, there it was. Back foot, and he just got a piece. Nichols also standing 6'5" on that mound. They've got a lot of height in this team, and Donay as well as Sundin to accompany Nichols. It'll be an 0-2 coming to Reeder. Wave that and missed, and down go the Anglers, but not before 3 runs are scratched across. We got a ball game as it's time to stretch here at McKeon Park. 6-3 Harbor Hawks as we go to the 7th inning stretch.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Is this a chicken dance I'm hearing?
It is.
Yeah, it is. That's how you get it yourself up and stretching as we are going to the bottom of the 7th. Now, these aren't quite the... These are the dirty birds, maybe. Maybe not the chickens. The Hawks, yeah. Those are some bigger birds, but we're doing the chicken dance. Yeah. Yeah, producer Graham McNew. Get it, man. There you go. Yeah, even stretch time for us up here in the booth. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Donay, Casella, and Laurie at the top of the order here due up in the bottom of the 7th. 2 for 3 on the day is Donay. Doubled in the 4th and tripled in the 5th. 2 decently hard stretches of the cycle to knock down. Took the first pitch for a ball. Here's the 1-0. Waved at and missed. Those are the pitches he doesn't want to be swinging at. You saw him taking a pretty wild approach on Saturday, going after quite a few.
Yeah, but he was a lot more disciplined yesterday.
Yeah.
Taking a couple of nice pitches that, you know, a lot of people would chase on. He faced some good pitching yesterday, but Donay's showing good plate discipline. He has a couple of hits today.
1-2 chop foul, stays alive. Yeah, we talked about those first game jitters, first at-bat jitters. And they're maybe shaking out now for Donay. He's found some solid contact. Today was his first solid contact. Had a broken bat hit a few days ago to get himself off the mark, but he's really found the barrel today. Not this time, though, as he waves and misses for out number 1 at the bottom of the 7th.
So not quite the result that Donay probably wanted there. First strikeout of the day, but still time for the Harbor Hawks to try and add an insurance run.
So 1 out now as Donay strikes out swinging. As here's the first pitch from Ray.
So there's going to be a lot of defensive changes when we talked about Butcher coming in. So Butcher will now come to first, Ballestero out to right, Schallenberger to center, and Kent will stay in left. So that should do all of your readjustments on the defensive side.
Just got a piece. Count now 0-2. Pitch just outside to Casella. Count 1-2. And count evens at 2-2. Rays look decent so far. He's been in for looking forward to complete his 3rd inning of work as the 2-2 on the ground to second. Nice pick by Donahue to put away out number 2.
Yeah. Great job by Donahue, able to come in on it cleanly. Once again, has his body weight over him, so it's a little tough at times when you're in that situation to not throw an errant throw up and high because he's throwing from a below launch angles. Does a good job there to be able to get it over to first cleanly.
2 away now. It's been quite a few lefty-righty matchups for Ray so far. This is one of them in Laurie. The 1-0 inside. So 2-0 on Laurie. He's walked twice and scored a run in the 4th with an RBI single. Batted in a run, that is. Count now 3-0 on the Harbor Hawks leadoff hitter. In there for strike 1 on the 3-0. So it'll be a 3-1 coming from Ray, looking to complete his 3rd inning of relief as the 3-1 upstairs. So a 2-out walk will bring Lipsy to the plate.
Center fielder from Ohio State, number 2,
Trey Lipsy standing in, looking to continue his good day. He has a single. He walked twice, and he struck out in the 2nd, but you'll take that stat line any day.
1 on, 2 out for the Buckeye as it's blocked out in front by Hobson, who is one of the defensive replacements. The 1-0. Low again, 2-0.
Yeah, so Schallenberger shifts from right to center. Ballestero goes from first to right. And Butcher stays in the game at first base after pinch hitting.
The 2-0 to Lipsy, dunks in for strike 1.
Big spot here if the Harbor Hawks can continue to work 2-out magic after allowing 3 to cross in the top half of the inning.
And that big 4th inning yesterday was all done, all those runs scored with 2 outs. Situational hitting was commended by hitting coach Tino Martinez. We were wondering if there was a bit of a change of approach, but he just said, no, we're just taking it bats the way we normally would. It's just the selection was better.
Yeah, and on opening day, I don't think that their approach was that bad. They were getting some hard contact.
As Lipsy swings and misses, and down go the Hawks. So the Anglers have 2 more innings to get themselves back in it, as we are through 7 at McKeon Park. 6-3 to the Hawks. You are watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
To the top of the 8th we go. 6-3, the Hawks lead. Yeah, you know that score, but hey, what are those other scores around the grounds here, Jacob Hyannis?
Yeah, let's take a look. We got two already final in the books. YD picks up their first win on Cape Cod, beating Brewster 8-6. Katuitt able to take down the Wareham Gatemen 3-2. Still currently playing in the bottom of the 8th. Orleans edging out the Bourne Braves currently 6-4, and then the bottom of the 8th as well. Falmouth out in front of Harwich as Falmouth takes the road for the first time this summer as well. That's your out-of-town scoreboard. Send it back over to Michael.
Scores looking all nice and tight around the league. Got some nice competitive games.
Also, the pinch hitter, Teddy Schoenfeld, who pinch hit for Justin Casella in the 9th spot, will stay in the game and head out to right field for Casella. So he was picked up today by Hyannis, just got into town before BP started, and he's looking to make an impact early.
First pitch from Nichols low to Donahue. Be 4, 5, 6 in the order. Here is the 1-0. There's a fly ball out to right center, fairly deep as Lipsy shades over and puts it away.
There you see Lipsy and Schoenfeld trying to have to communicate. Of course, we talk about communication being, you know, brand new with a lot of these players out here on the Cape, because none of them have played together before for the most part. And Lipsy and Schoenfeld kind of converging on that fly ball, brand new communication. You know, a lot of these guys have been communicating for the past like 4 or 5 days, maybe a little bit, but that's just a couple of hours old, and they did a good job. Lipsy calling him off and making that play.
0-1 the count on Ballestero, who's now in at right field. Started the game at first as the 0-1 is outside. 6-3 here in the top of the 8th. And once again, we thank you for joining us here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Jacob Irons, Mickey Doolittle, Michael Kirsting, bringing you all the action from McKeon Park tonight. As 3 runs scratched across in the first, and then 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th, or 2 in the 5th. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Hawks.
And then Chatham coming back with those 3 runs in the 7th. Put themselves back into that one. That one was spiked just a little bit, if I don't say so myself. About
1-2 went about 55 feet.
About 5 or 6 feet in front of home plate.
Count even at 2 on Ballestero.
Not a big deal. Just lost his release point momentarily there.
Exactly. Just, once again, everybody's got a couple slip-ups.
The 2-2 got him swinging as Ballestero down on strikes.
They got some Subway sandwiches down below us right now, and wow, those look good. Normally I'm not a Subway guy, but
what's your go-to?
Right
you
now,
going for a sandwich? What are you hitting?
Typically Jersey Mike's,
okay.
but I kind of get the same thing. Jersey Mike's is a little different, but in those like make your own sandwich shops, for the most part my order is the same thing.
Okay.
It's a little bit of ham, mayonnaise, mustard, lettuce, tomato.
All right.
Sometimes I rotate in turkey.
Sure. Got enough delis around us where we don't need the Subways, you don't need the Jersey
No,
Mike's.
you don't.
Nuh-uh.
And those local delis are so much better.
Oh, pristine food. Can't really talk about this too much longer. I'm going to get starving myself and steal one of those Subway sandwiches myself. So that means we get back to baseball. It's 0-2 on Cade and Ken. Kent's last at bat is his only official of the day. He singled and scored and walked back in the second and the fourth. The 0-2 tipped into the screen.
I've always, big thing, I don't know if anyone saw it trending with John Sterling getting it knocked up into the box.
Oh, man.
Thanks to McKeon Park here, we don't really need to worry about a ball coming at us here in the press box.
I'm hoping it happens anyway.
Yeah, it's 84-year-old John Sterling, Yankees radio announcer, catching a piece of a foul ball.
Got to keep your head on a swivel in all parts of the game.
I'm ready.
Yeah, no, that netting is high up enough. The angle would have to be, a ridiculous one should it reach us, but don't think it really ever would. As here's the 1-2. It's a fly ball out to left. Williamson over and puts it away. Good clean inning for Nichols as the Anglers go 1-2-3. We're through 7.5. It is 6-3 to the Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own. You turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
Be a bad mother.
Carlos Ray on for his fourth inning in relief of Trey Gibson. Gibson let up 4 runs in this game. He let up 3 in the first, and then that one in the fourth inning. 2 more were scratched across by the Harbor Hawks in that 5th. And since then, the Harbor Hawks have not gotten a hit. It's been a walk by Lane, walk by Williamson, and walk by Laurie. And that's all they've got.
Yeah, they've had opportunities to score, but haven't really cashed in on them. But still time to add a little bit more. Only 3 outs away from victory, picking up their 2nd win of the year. But you'd feel a lot better about your chances if this lead was a little more than 3, especially against a team like Chatham scoring 10 runs last night.
In an effort to tie the game as well. That's a fun one to be a part of. So it's a 2-0 on Lane. Two hit by pitches and 2 walks on the day as he waves and misses at the 2-0. Count 2-1. Got action down the left field line for the Harbor Hawks. Buchanan up and warming. As here's the 3-1 to Lane. Big hack at that.
Yeah, why not? 3-1 count leverage. You know, it's not the best to waste a pitch like that, but at the same time, you can swing as hard as you want.
As there goes Lane as he sat down looking for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, great pitch. Ran it back in on him. Lane didn't really agree with the call, but strike 3 nonetheless, and that will bring up Sundin. 1 for 4 days so far for him. 2 strikeouts, but a single back in the first that brought home 2 runners.
Hey, had to hit when it counted.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like last night, he's already seen 3 different at-bats with the bases loaded, and he's been coming through on all of them as we get a look at Colson Buchanan down the line. 0-1 on Sundin. It was his bases clearing double that got the run party started last night. It was his 2-run single that got it started tonight. So again, those lineup changes. He wasn't starting in the cleanup spot on Saturday, and the tweak. And since then, Sundin has really paid his dividends out of the cleanup spot. He waved at that pitch. It was way up and away. Count is now 1-2.
Can you remind us of the score of the Brewster game?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
Hyannis' opponent tomorrow.
8-6. They fell to YD over at Red Wilson Field.
All right. Looks like YD got out to a lead in the second inning. 5 runs in the second inning. Got to the starter. So Brewster drops to 1-1-1. And YD improves to 1-2. We'll see YD coming up here pretty soon. Actually, we don't see YD's the team that we don't see for a while.
The payoff to Sundin tapped into the screen.
Still soon. You'll see him in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, same with Harwich in that situation as well. We were talking about that yesterday, as Harwich we won't see for a while as well.
The first YD game is on the 4th of July.
Ripped right back up the middle for a base hit. Sundin's got 2 hits on the day.
Nicely done. Perfectly placed back up the middle. After not seeing YD for the first nearly month of the season, Hyannis has a back-to-back against them, the 4th and the 5th of July. 1 home, that being the 4th of July. Always a fun Cape Cod tradition with fireworks and all the stops, and then you travel to YD the next day.
It's quite nothing like 4th of July on Cape Cod.
Yeah. It kind of begs the question, like, are other leagues, not taking advantage of the 4th of July like Cape Cod is? Like, yeah. I see a lot of leagues, they bust out the fireworks and everything, but it doesn't seem like.
Williamson is 4 for 4 on the day with a walk. 4 singles for the William and Mary man. And he's showing he's hitting near 400 in college, and he brings it straight up to the Cape with him. Really, really just wonderful work. Second time serving it out into right field on the day.
It doesn't seem like it's just as leaned into by the baseball world. Like the NBA, you have Christmas. Like those Christmas Day games are marquee games that you are absolutely watching. The NFL has Thanksgiving. Baseball, it doesn't really have the 4th of July on lock like those other sports do. The Cape certainly does, though.
The Cape, it certainly does, and I think the problem with that is both of those holidays are somewhat mostly spent inside.
Yeah.
But 4th of July, you're outside at a cookout. You're away from a television for the most part. However,
which should lend itself to baseball.
However, in the Cape, what's the beauty about Cape Cod baseball in that situation is people come to the game. That's their celebration, and that's when they get outside their house.
I mean, fireworks on the field tonight, too. Williamson 4 for 4. There were 11 runs scored last night. 10 hits tonight here for the Hawks. The bats coming alive, giving us a show. It's a 2-1 to Smith. Struck out looking in the 6th.
He's got a big hole on that right side of the infield. Second baseman Donahue's keeping that runner on.
It's a high pop out to short as Spring Lott is out and Kent is in to put away out number 1. I beg your pardon, that's out number 2.
Took a while to come down. That one found its way into, it was losing some gravity for a second there.
True major league like pop fly out there, just went a mile into the sky.
So Eric Snow stands in. He had that double back in the 5th that drove in a run. He was also struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice to end the 3rd. He also walked in the 1st.
It's production from all over the lineup. You've seen Snow get it done. First 3 batters in Laurie, Lipsy, and Lane all scored in the 1st. Getting on through the walks. They lead in, yeah, and as you said, Mickey, earlier in the game, they lead the Cape early on and hit batsmen. So it doesn't really matter how you get on. You're also going to get bonus points if you're wearing a few pitches as well. Just saying, getting a thanks from the manager. It's a 1-1 to Snow. In there, count 1 and 2. As those 2 hits by Lane and Williamson were the first hits for the Hawks since the 5th.
Carlos Ray into his 4th inning of work.
Here's the 1-2 to Snow, bounced in the dirt. Runners stay put.
4 innings for Trey Gibson. Now 3 2/3 for Ray. Going a bit of a starter's length. And has done a pretty nice job.
Yeah, that's a hefty relief outing. When we
Yeah.
talk about relievers and how often they're able to come in and whether they're short relievers, but Tom Holliday going the full distance with Ray today.
In any pitcher that can just eat innings, you know, have that
Yeah.
ERA hovering around 3.7, maybe the low 4s, you know, that can go and give you some length and stretch out along the game. That's just so valuable.
Especially in a day-to-day baseball league.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on for Snow. And he foul tipped strike 3 into the glove of Hobson to end the bottom of the 8th. Well, we go to the 9th inning. Last licks for the Anglers to tie the game. They need 4 to send it to the bottom of the 9th. We're through 8. It's 6-3 Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Kino. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
See you soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
To the top of the 9th we go, as Mason Nichols has been on in relief for the last few innings. He looks to close things out here at McKeon Park. He's got a 3-run lead to work with, and he will be facing the bottom 3rd of the order, barring any pinch hitters. It'll be Fernandez, Schallenberger, and Hobson.
We were just talking about getting length out of your relievers.
Yeah.
Mason Nichols has given Hyannis length tonight.
Yeah.
You have to imagine that he might be on a bit of a shorter leash here in the top of the 9th, but still, it has been a really great outing for him as he has worked out of some tough situations. He's also shut them down. So looking to get these final 3 outs here against Chatham.
Yeah, big outs indeed, Mickey.
Yep.
Where, once again, talk about hitting's contagious, winning can be contagious too. So if you're able to string 2 together here early in the season, that's huge for momentum and huge for the branding of Hyannis here early in June. Once again, still got another month to play, but 2 back-to-back wins are always a big thing.
So it starts with the Cuban Robin Fernandez. 1 for 3 with a run scored as he sends one out to center field. Lipsy ranges over to his right and makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the 9th.
Very aggressive at-bat there from Fernandez. First pitch swinging, gets a hold of it. He knew what he liked, but ultimately they're just flying it to Lipsy, who's got a great deal of speed out in center field to cover that ground.
I like it. Be aggressive. He hit it hard. He got the contact that he wanted, but not quite hard enough. And if that was over to the left just a little bit more, that might have split the gap and made this game a whole heck of a lot more interesting.
Hawks now 2 outs away, and it's Schallenberger who represents this batter. It's a 1-0 count. Nichols sets and deals, fouled over our heads.
Really strong pitching performance again for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at that moment of, once again, you talk about relief. They're starting to get it. They're starting to piece it together. Doing a good job here so far. Like Mickey mentioned earlier in the broadcast, lowest ERA so far through only 2 games, but still, sample size is still a sample size to look at.
Yeah, lowest earned runs in the Cape so far. Have only allowed 3 today, and you will take that any day of the week.
And it helps when you've got an offense as good as they've got too, as the 2-1 waved at and missed. And not only has the offense been producing so far, as we mentioned earlier, they've got reinforcements coming as well, in bunches as well. We've mentioned all the names. We haven't even mentioned the returning Mike Sirota as well. So there's going to be competition all over the diamond for the starting spots in a seemingly very competitive team as the 2-2 is taken outside.
Full count here. Don't want to miss. Don't want to lose them.
No. Big opportunity.
Nichols sets and waits to deliver the payoff. And here it comes. Outside. So a 1-out walk for Schallenberger. And that sends Hobson to the plate for his second pinch-hitting appearance of the game.
Yeah, pitch just missing outside into the other batter's box there. And good restraint there from Schallenberger, once again, to not come around on it unnecessarily, especially in that leverage, because in the top of the ninth, you got to get 3. It's got to be an assembly line.
1 on and 1 out for Hobson. First pitch fouled away.
Tying run stands on deck, and that's the top of the order.
So yeah, these are big outs that you need to get now, as Butcher was the one pinch hitting for Cam Pittman. It'll be an 0-1 count on Hobson. Butcher waiting on deck. The 0-1, nicely dunked in with the off-speed 0-2.
A little high off-speed pitch there. Maybe caught him a little off guard. Typically you don't see that off-speed pitch high, but still did it, and it worked.
Ahead in the count, 0-2 is Nichols. And he just takes a look back.
Just checking on him. Lane wasn't covering first, but let him know you're thinking about him. Send him a little get better card.
The 0-2. Up and away 1-2. What's been better as well today has been the defense as well. It's just been extremely clean all around the diamond from the Hawks.
And that's a get well card if you even think about running on Brody Donay.
The 1-2. Fouled back again.
Directly into the post, it sounded like.
Off the press box and then down the first base line and past the Hyannis dugout.
Yeah, our videographer Max out there making a play too.
There was a line drive at Max earlier in the game that was scorched, and he was just sitting there filming video.
Yeah.
He didn't flinch. He didn't even move. It was awesome.
Oh, it's called focus. The 1-2 punched foul third base side. It's been pretty clean in terms of defense. They really haven't had too much to worry about. There's been certain plays where maybe a double play could have been forced, but the correct play was taken, just getting the shore out. So we've seen a few throwing errors in these first few games, but it's been nice and clean today. That's the only really part that's been missing. So it's really come together today as there goes the runner, swung on and missed. Throw down to second, He got him, and that is how you end it. A strike him out, throw him out, double play. Ball game over, and cue victory for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 6-3 your final. Yeah, that's defense right there.
Brody Donay with the laser beam throwing out his third runner of the season, second runner of the day, and the Hawks have a winning streak here in 2023.
They bring their record to 2-1, and yeah, Jacob Irons, we talked about the defense clicking as well, but really in terms of that, the defense clicking, offense and pitching did too. It was a really, overall, just a complete team display today.
Once again, you talk about it, Hyannis went out and was active in the early innings to put themselves in a comfortable spot. They were attacking early and often like we talk about. Got 3 runs in the first inning. They kept the good times rolling from Wareham over the bridge back onto the Cape. Do a great job there in that situation of finding themselves continuously, pitching stellar right now. Hyannis just starting to look like a complete team that's really solid at the moment where all facets are really working. But once again, good as your next day here is you got to go in and play a strong Brewster team that made it to the finals last year.
Driver with the win. The loss goes to Gibson, and Nichols gets the save. 6-10-0 runs, hits, and errors for the Hawks. And for Chatham, they go 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Well, yeah, that's a happy team right there in your huddle, and that's a happy Hyannis Harbor Hawks fan base going home tonight. We thank you very much for joining us on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. For Jacob Irons, for Mickey Doolittle, and for the 4th member of our team, Bria Lassick, as well as all of our production staff here at McKeon Park. My name is Michael Kirsting. That is Michael with the Y signing off from McKeon Park. 6-3, the Harbor Hawks win it. Have a good evening, folks.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.